rock and roll. Is he going to stay on the bike? Get out of the way! Oh! Chris Harris, sensational. He's almost lost it. Whoopee, whoopee, whoopee! Scintillating, super, Scotty Nicholls. Not only is the British title on the line, but who will book the wildcard spot at the British Grand Prix at Cardiff? Great crowd here. We're live in Wolverhampton tonight for one of the highlights of the domestic speedway calendar. 16 of the best of British doing battle, not only for that national title, but for a place in the biggest speedway event in the world. It's the 2012 British Final live from Wolverhampton's Monmouth Green Stadium, and it's all in glorious high definition. Riders making preparations down in the pits area. This venue at Monmouth Green always serves up lively and entertaining speedway racing, and this meeting itself, lots to go for, lots of inspiration for these riders and motivation, and we're sure to see 22 heats of spectacular speedway action here tonight. Yes, a lovely sunny evening here in the West Midlands. Good evening and welcome along to what promises to be a terrific night at Speedway, the British Championship. One man alongside me here who knows what it's all about. Twice British champion, Kelvin Tatum. Looking forward to this one.
Indeed, I am. It's a special night of Speedway. Of course, 2 prizes up for grabs, the championship itself, of course, and the opportunity to ride at Cardiff. So, yeah, super stuff in prospect.
And what does it mean to be your national champion, Kelvin? You've done it twice.
Yeah, it's a terrific sense of pride and achievement. You feel very satisfied. You know, it's a big night and you performed and you're the #1 in your own country.
Let's take a look at the 16 riders that are going to do battle here tonight at Wolverhampton. Scott Nicholls, of course, is the joint record holder, 6 British titles to his name. We'll have more on that very shortly. But the lineup itself, Scott Nicholls at rider number 8 and Chris Harris at number 16 have dominated this championship since 2004. No other rider has won it. Joe Screen, the last rider to break that domination. But will we see someone different tonight? Somebody like Tai Woffinden on his own track?
A lot of talk pre-meeting, of course, about Tai Woffinden. Came so very close last year. 5 rides, he won them all and then just dipped out in the final. He's equal favourite there, of course, with the bookies with Chris Harris. And you've got to say Scott Nicholls coming as 3rd favourite, but I'm sure we could easily see some surprises. Scott Nicholls, if he wins tonight, will be the outright leader in the Roll of Honour. He will break the record outright of 7 British titles. Barry Briggs, Ivan Major, Chris Harris, Mark Loram, Andy Smith, and with 2 titles apiece, our very own Kelvin Tatum, as I just mentioned, and Chris Louis as well. But Kelvin, what would it mean to Scott to be the record holder of British titles? I know that he will be very proud indeed of that. You know, he's always focused in on this meeting. He's had a terrific run, 6 titles. That in itself is something very special. And I think tonight, if he could pull off back-to-back titles, you know, last year was something special. I think he'll be delighted. Yeah, looking forward to this. Looking at our team tonight as well. Charlie is in the pits to interview the boys doing the action, and down on the track, taking a look at the all-important track conditions for us ahead of tonight. Here's Chris Louis.
Thanks, Nigel. Yeah, down here on the start line at Monmouth Green, the track, as ever here, is well prepared. I did hear that last week the track was a little bit bumpy, so we can look out for a few bumps here tonight, but it's a little bit slicker than I would have expected. I think perhaps that's because of the bumpy conditions last week. But the first turn, notoriously tight here at Monmouth Green. We saw in last year's final, Nicholls, Harris, Woffinden and Kennett all going into the air fence, all wanting the same bit of track. When the British title's on the line, that's the sort of thing that's going to happen. So much grip on the inside of the exit of turn 1 here tonight that I think we're going to see plenty more of that type of action as riders are knocking the throttle off, turning the bike hard, going for that inside line. They're all going to come together at times, so I think we're going to see plenty of action down the back straight.
Yeah, looking forward to it, Chris. Thanks very much indeed. And building up to the action down in the pits, here's Charlie.
Yeah, thanks very much, Nigel. Well, it's the one that all the riders want. And it's a very different atmosphere down here in the pits than on a normal meeting. Very tense, focused and quite quiet really. There's a great atmosphere with the fans. Some great fans down here. And joining me is 6-time British champion Scott Nicholls. Scott, what would it mean to you to get a 7th and be in the record books?
Oh, it'd mean the world, you know. First and foremost, it'd be nice to win tonight, but obviously, by doing that we'd go in the record book, something I've never been before, so it'd be a nice achievement.
And of course, there's the wild card spot. You've done 81 Grand Prix now. Is this something you're still aiming to be involved in?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, first and foremost, it'll be fantastic win tonight. But
you know, going to Cardiff, you know, it's always a fantastic event, and one I've been fortunate to be part of every year. So, yeah, I'd love to go down there and, you know, everything to gain kind of thing, and go and enjoy it. And obviously it'd be lovely to win it, but first I need to focus on tonight.
You said previously that you put a lot of pressure on your shoulders. This is something that actually helps you perform.
Yeah, I mean, you know, you can take the pressure all different ways, and you know, I put pressure on myself just because determination. You know, I think a lot of people are in that same category. Everybody deals with it and treats it in a different way. But you know, tonight, you know, there is a bit of pressure, but it's, you know, I'll use that to my advantage, hopefully, and you see that as determination to win.
Thank you, Scott. Best of luck to you tonight.
Thank you.
Well, there's no doubt the National Championship deserves a big crowd, and they've turned out in big numbers here at Wolverhampton on this sunny evening in the West Midlands. The crowd eager with anticipation ahead of tonight's action. There's a bit of rivalry between the British riders, Kelvin, a lot like the other nations as well, but you know, there's healthy respect as well. They're friends off the track, but they'll be desperate to beat each other here tonight. Yeah,
well, we've seen a terrific head-to-head battle between Harris and Nicholls over the last few years, and without question those guys really go to war here this evening. Woffinden is there coming up on the rails. Got to say, riders like Eddie Kennett have come close, and I'm sure we're going to see one or two surprises from some younger riders here this evening. I sincerely hope so.
Well, not only is the national title on the line here tonight, but there's also the extra motivation of a place at Cardiff and the biggest speedway show on earth.
Cardiff is the biggest speedway event in the world.
Riding in Cardiff is the ultimate. If something like that doesn't get you excited, then nothing will.
The clash of the big guns. And we're up to heat number one then here, the start of the British final here at the Monmouth Green Stadium, Wolverhampton. 16 riders, 20 races, 3 points for a win, 2 for second, 1 for third, nothing for finishing last. The top 2 scorers go straight through to a final, and the next 4 go into a race-off to qualify for the final. This is heat number one. Robert Mear of the Lakeside Hammers goes off the inside in red. Edward Kennett of Coventry goes off gate 2 in blue. Adam Roynon, busy boy, 3 leagues he rides in this season. Coventry in the Elite League off gate 3 in white. And Richard Lawson, he's going off the outside. He rides for Workington and Peterborough. You can double up in British Speedway, and in Adam Roynon's case, triple up.
Yeah.
And he's a busy boy, and this is heat number one, and these boys will be desperate to get off to a good start.
Absolutely, they'll be extremely nervous. A big night of Speedway ahead. Adam Roynon, of course, rides here for the Dudley Heathens. You know that, Nige, of course.
Know them quite well, yeah.
You do indeed, and he'll be keen to get underway with a big ride here. Knows the place very well. Tai Woffinden there, just enjoying himself, looking pretty relaxed, but heat number one.
And the tape tries, and it's a good start by the man on the inside, Robert Mear, superstar. Kennett goes wide and goes down in the first turn. It's Richard Lawson. The red lights are probably going to have to come on here, I would think, because Lawson's struggling to get his bike away. The red lights are on now.
Yeah.
So an unfortunate way to start the meeting.
Pretty harem-scarum first corner, you've got to say. Robert Mear made a good start from the inside, drifted wide, and Richard Lawson on the outside, he bites the dust. Not the ideal way for him to start tonight. Couldn't get the bike out of the air fence. Referee didn't put the red lights on immediately. He wanted the race to continue. We're seeing number 4 on the outside, just runs out of room, slips off by himself. Got to say that he'll be excluded.
Yep, Richard Lawson, it's unlucky for him, not the best of starts, and a man who's been in good form for Workington this season, rides at number 1 for them, and he is excluded.
That's a tough way to start United Speedway. British Championship, you know, first corner. Don't manage to get round. He's a talented rider, no question. We've seen him actually riding very well in the Elite League at times. He looked a little bit nervous, if the truth be known, going into that first corner. Possibly the decision there was for him to actually turn back to the inside and try and nick a place or two coming out of the first corner. But Robert Mear on the inside, I sense he was nervous as well. He was a little bit harem-scarum. He ran wide in the first corner. But pressure on. and definitely riders feeling the nerves.
1 or 2 alterations in the pits. The 2 minutes time allowance is on already, so the riders have 2 minutes to be set.
I have a little bit of a gripe, and riders won't thank me for this, but I have to say, why aren't they waved straight back round to the start? They've only been out there a few moments. Don't really understand why they have to come back in and sort of like go through a whole procedure. Really ought to be sort of like, from the point of view of the meeting and continuity, we should really be getting on with the action.
Yeah, a lot of supporters would agree with that as well, Kelvin. They want to see a fast-flowing meeting, I'm sure. The only defence of the referee with that, I guess, is that the riders had completed a lap, and it wasn't just one turn of the race.
He wanted the race to continue, didn't he? He wanted to. It was Richard Lawson was clearly, he fell off by bowl by himself, but he was obviously tangled with the air fence and didn't get back up to his feet, couldn't get out of the way, so the red lights had to become on. But you know, it does take a little bit of a time. But as a rider, that's a tough start, because if he wants to, you know, make progress in this meeting, he's got 4 opportunities left, but there's significantly more pressure on those 4 outings.
I don't think he was too pleased with the decision of the referee, but that's
contact.
the way it goes. I don't think there's any argument that Graham Flint got that right.
No, unfortunately, there was no contact, so can't have too many complaints. Track, I suggest, will be a little bit patchy, plenty of grip out there. I think it may catch 1 or 2 riders out early doors. Without doubt, we saw Doc Bridget, the track curator here, working extremely hard. Always comes up trumps with the Monmore Green circuit.
Edward Kennett here, 25 years of age, missed half of last season through suspension. It's good to see him back, and he will be one of the riders that fancies his chances on a track like this. Has a pretty good record around Monmore Green.
I was just going to talk about the track. You know, historically, championship meetings have been run on bigger tracks. In recent seasons, we've come to Monmore Green and we've seen some really tough speedway. It will suit certain riders more than others, though. The tight technical track here at Monmore Green, you know, Scotty Nicholls, no question, he loves it round here. Tai Woffinden, you've got to look at him also.
So heat number 1, second time of asking. Richard Lawson disqualified. Richard with the help of his father, Stevie Lawson, who was a real legend up at Glasgow as a rider. He's here tonight helping his boy out. Heat number 1, restart. Robert Mear off the inside in red. Edward Kennett goes off gate 2 in blue. And off gate 3 in white is Adam Roynon. No rider off the outside. 3 riders only then for the restart of heat number 1. Ben Barker watching on. He'll have plenty of support from Birmingham fans that have made the short trip across from Kerry Bar here tonight. The Birmingham president, Tony Mole, down in the pits area as well. Good crowd. Chris Morton, the Bellevue promoter, former British champion himself, with Craig Cook, one of his riders there.
Yeah.
So they're all here tonight, and looking forward to a great night. Let's hope we get the 4 laps away here without too many problems. In heat number 1, it's a good start from Kennett off gate number 2 there. Edward Kennett hits that first turn. Now Robert Mear holds second place. Roynon is third right now. Roynon is going to try and hunt down Robert Mear for that second spot. But the lead here is with Edward Kennett. He made a clean start, and Roynon's coming up the inside now, and Roynon comes through for second place.
Yeah, Robert Mear, they're just drifting wide coming out of turn 4 and left the hole open. Plenty of grip on the inside of the track. It's a little bit dusty, if anything, going down the back straight. Kennett, though, second time of asking, has made the start. Looks comfortable out in front. This is similar to Eastbourne, where he rode for so long. Of course, he comes from Sussex and enjoyed a good lot of time down there, but he's out in front, looking set for a race win here.
Yeah, this will do Edward Kennett the power of good, a win in his opening ride. Roynon second, third place Robert Mear, and Edward Kennett has got time to look over his shoulders. He's going to kick on here, and it's an impressive ride for the Coventry Bees man. Edward Kennett wins heat number 1 and gets the British final underway in fine style. Roynon worked hard to pass Robert Mear for second place there. And Edward Kennett, well, he could say a good start for Coventry, with 2 Coventry riders there up front in Eddie Kennett and Adam Roynon.
Big 5-1 to Coventry away at Monmore Green. They'll be delighted about that, of course. But
Coventry won here last week, didn't
exactly, yeah, a terrific result for them. But yeah, that was a smashing ride there from Eddie Kennett. Pretty straightforward in the end. He hit the front, didn't come under too much pressure.
Edward Kennett wins heat number 1, then Adam Roynon was second, Robert Mear third. Richard Lawson didn't compete, of course. He was disqualified after the original staging of the race. Kennett from start to finish. Roynon came through to pass Robert Mear. Great start for Edward Kennett in heat number 1.
It was this time around. Robert Mear on the inside just misses out, just missed it. Wasn't quite sharp enough away from the tapes. And Eddie Kennett there, you see, comfortably in front going into the first corner. Put in the big locker. We're looking at him there. Look how sharp he was. Concentration there on the tapes. Bang, he's into the first corner. Super ride from Eddie.
Yeah, let's get some reaction then with Charlie.
Yeah, just down here with Eddie. Bit hot down here. Congratulations Great start there. You almost got a better start with the rerun. It was almost your advantage. Talk us through your first corner.
Yeah, I mean, after having the restart, I knew I didn't make the best one in first, so I was pretty lucky. But I knew I had to get across Robert and just ride the inside. And yeah, right, feels okay. Maybe make a few changes and see how we get on.
Your best in a British final is second, and you're quite experienced now. How much would it mean to get this crown?
It mean everything. I have, been struggling recently. I'm not putting in the points that I should be, and hopefully tonight I can turn that around and get back up there.
And you have been in 3 Grand Prix as well, so what would it mean to get to Cardiff?
I mean everything, not just for me, for my sponsors who've always been along with me for the years that I've been riding, and for my family. So yeah, I'll be pushing hard tonight.
Quick question about the track, how is it out there?
Yeah, well, I was here last week, and it turned over quite a lot, and I think it probably will do later on, which is good around here because it's nice to have 2 different racing lines.
Well done, Eddie, thanks very much.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, well done indeed. Good start for Edward Kennett. As I said, Coventry were here last Monday and turned Wolverhampton over on a good night for the Bees, who've been struggling of late. And heat number 2 coming up. The home rider Tai Woffinden goes off the inside in the red helmet colour. He's been suffering with flu. He's had that injury, of course, but he's here tonight, and he got double figures in Poland yesterday as well. Woffinden off the inside. Danny King from Birmingham. He is going off gate number 2 here now. Stuart Robson, he goes off gate number 3 in white. Plenty of experience for the Lakeside man. And Scott Nicholls, hoping to be a record breaker tonight. He goes off the outside in yellow.
Yeah, Nicholls has got a fabulous record in this meeting, of course, and came through to win in fine style last year. That man, of course, he won his first 5 rides, Tai Woffinden, and just dipped out in the final. That sudden death final at the end there. You felt for him a bit because he dominated proceedings prior to that. But Nicholls, he's a determined man. This really does mean everything to him. We're on board, of course, with Danny King. He could be a spoiler, as could be Stuart Robson. Stuart Robson on his night can be quite useful.
Lead number 2 it is then here. Graham Flint with his finger on the button and away from the start. Woffenden's made a good one.
Nicholls down.
Goes Scott Nicholls in the first turn.
A little bit of contact.
The red lights have come on now down that back straight. So
once again, that Chris summed it up perfectly, didn't he, in his track report? How tough it is. It's a tight first corner, and riders coming in there, and they squeeze in there. He just got a little bit of contact. Interesting to see here. They did just squeeze in there. I think they may have contacted between him and Stuart Robson coming into the first corner. I would think all 4 back.
Well, this is what Graham Flint will be watching. Interesting decision to be made here by Graham Flint. The red lights went
Danny
on
King, it's not
halfway
Stuart
down
Robson.
the back straight.
Yeah, just a little bit of contact unbalanced him, and he went down. It'll be tough if he doesn't get back in the rerun. Yeah, he has a bit of a clip. For me, they should put all 4 back.
Yeah, no exclusion light on. This is a perfect shot, at ground level. And into that first turn, Nicholls hits the deck.
Tell you what, he tries desperately hard to stay on board there, doesn't he? But he just can't pick the bike up. He goes in there, he's coming across, and
yep, all 4 riders for the restart. Well, the Great Britain manager, Neil Middleditch, is here tonight. He's with Chris Louis.
Yeah, very interested spectator, Neil Middleditch. Neil, you've got a test match on Wednesday. It's the best of British here tonight, so I guess you're having a little look at who's around.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, I've named my team, but obviously Lewis Bridge is not here tonight, so there is a space to fill, so I'll be looking tonight and see who can fill that space.
It's a quality lineup tonight. Obviously, we missed the semi-finals because of the torrid weather we've been having, but it is pretty much the best 16. Obviously, Lewis aside, Ollie Allen also injured recently in Poland, but can you see anybody toppling this Scott Nicholls, Chris Harris stranglehold they've got on this championship?
Well, I mean, you look down the programme, and I think, you could say over the past few years, it's always been Scott and Chris, but I think this year there's 6 or 7 riders tonight who are quite capable of winning it, so I think I'm looking forward to the final.
Tai Woffinden last year in particular, 15-point maximum on his home track, here again tonight, but he'll want to go one better after missing out in the final last year.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, Tai's coming, he hurt his shoulder down at Poole the other week, so he's not 100%, but, I know he's very, very determined tonight.
And just a quick reflection on the World Cup. Not a bad performance from the squad of riders that you had.
No, I think we did well. I think King's in, a little bit unlucky, and if we'd have gone through from there, Rostrum place wasn't out of we could have quite got one. But yeah, overall I was fairly pleased, but we just didn't have enough on the race off.
Thanks, Neil.
Cheers, Chris.
Tough start to the meeting, and typical of a British final where the riders are so desperate to do well, and one or two incidents in the first turn.
And do you know what? My memories of the British Championship were always it was a very physical night of speedway. You know, riders would up their game, total commitment going into the first corner, no quarter given. And we've seen that already in the first two heats here this evening. You know, we're watching this one again. Nicholls coming from the outside. It looks like he's got a good getaway there, but the two boys on the inside, Woffinden and King, are there together. And he's trying to come across and there's no room, and unfortunately for him the dirt deflector just clips his front wheel, unsettles him and goes down. The right decision. I think all four riders should have a second chance.
Graham Flint is got the 2-minute warning on right now, the referee, so the riders should be ready to resume heat number 2 very shortly. Beaming sunshine here tonight, which is great to see at the Monmouth Green Stadium.
A lot of talk about Tai Woffinden this year. Started the season well. Of course, he broke his scaphoid and had a frustrating time out on the sidelines, but he's back. He rode well in the World Cup. You know, obviously Chris Harris has had a poor Grand Prix season so far. People are talking about Tai Woffinden in terms that maybe he could be back in the World Championship Speedway. Big opportunity for him tonight, Nige.
Yep, absolutely. Heat number 2 coming up, and there is the big consideration for next year as well. If Chris Harris doesn't make it for the Grand Prix, will there be a British rider? Will it be this man? Speculation already gathering pace as to who may or may not be in.
That's what I'm talking about. You know, like the fact is if he manages to get the wild card, has a British Grand Prix, a good ride there, he's done well in the World Cup, he puts himself forward to potentially get in.
Speaking to him, Kelvin, I think that, you know, he would consider it very, very strongly, but he would have to work on the sponsorship side of things. He wants to be as competitive as possible.
Agreed, and it's a big undertaking, I understand that. And you need a budget to be able to do it, but I think second time around, after the experiences of a couple of seasons ago, I think he'd be much better prepared mentally for the whole challenge.
Heat number 2, second time of asking then. Scott Nicholls coming around to take up the lineup for the second race of the night. And here are the grid positions. Tai Woffinden goes off the inside in red. The Wolverhampton man, Danny King from Birmingham, goes off gate number 2 in blue. Stuart Robson is off gate 3 in white from the Lakeside Hammers, and Scott Nicholls then, he goes off the outside in yellow. Will we get a clean getaway second time around?
Yeah, let's hope so. It's been a bit of a frustrating start so far. Everything's set up perfectly. It's a lovely evening, and we haven't really got round the first corner very well so far. So Scott Nicholls, second time of asking, he'll be hoping for better. Trouble is, it's a long way from the outside there early doors, and you need a bit of good fortune. There's not that much grip on the outside, so maybe a turn back this time.
Here we go with heat number 2.
He's missed it completely.
The red lights are on already.
Here we go.
Yep, the red lights are on already, so an unsatisfactory start quite clearly. This time the riders will go back to the start line, I'm sure. But this is a very fragmented opening to the British final after the big build-up, and Tai Woffinden almost hits the start, Marshall.
Tai Woffinden clearly in the sunshine. We had it last week. Tai Woffinden coming back.
Yep.
Further delay. Clearly didn't see the red light. Referee should put the 2 minutes on immediately.
And let's see why Graham Flint wasn't happy.
Yeah,
Scott
that's
Nicholls.
why Scott Nicholls missed the start.
He's
and
nervous.
And he has every right to be. It's a big night at Speedway. But he actually penalises himself badly there. And my argument is that if he's tried to jump the start but penalises himself, why pull it back?
Well, Graham Flint very quickly with his fingers on the button there. To
maybe
call
Graham's nervous as well.
Sorry?
Maybe Graham's nervous as well.
Maybe he is. He does like to get the meetings going as quickly as possible, this referee, Graham Flint. He has a reputation of rushing through meetings, but of course when there are crashes and when there are unsatisfactory starts, there's very little he can do. And now they'll try again for a third time for heat number 2 here. Woffinden, the man in red, did return to the pits area for one or two last-minute adjustments, and he'll feel a bit of pressure on his shoulders as the home rider tonight as well.
Without doubt. You know, I had the same scenario. I rode at Coventry, and the British final was at Coventry every year, and the sense of expectation was huge at times, and in fact found it quite difficult. It was a big night at Speedway. 3 World Cup teammates here, of course, in King, Nicholls and Woffinden, but I tell you what, there'll be no love lost now. They'll be going for it. It's a big night. It's an individual prize that they all want.
Ben Barker watching on. He scored a maximum for Birmingham last Thursday night. Here we go again, third time, and we're away this time. And it's a great start for Danny King in blue. Woffinden goes up the inside though in red. Now Woffinden is going to take up the lead. Nicholls is at the back. Oh, look how close all four riders are. Woffinden has the lead. Round the outside comes Danny King. Woffinden holds the line. King will try the inside, coming through as well. Superbly is Stuart Robson. Nicholls still at the back. Good race this one, Kel.
Out in front, Tai Woffinden, Stuart Robson up the inside. He's got himself into second place. King roaring round the outside of it, getting back into the thick of it. Nicholls has been absolutely shut out of it. He's now up the inside trying to get back into it, but Tai Woffinden riding a stormer out in front.
Yeah, Wolverhampton looks to have the race under control, but Stuart Robson riding nicely here second. Third is Danny King. Nicholls now is going to challenge Danny King for that third place. It's very, very close. Oh, Nicholls!
Oh, King's out of control. He's off the back of the bike. The bike clouts the fence down the back straight. That was tough speedway coming out of turn 2 on the last lap. Referee will take a look at it. There's no question Nicholls hustled round the inside and there was contact.
He didn't put the red lights on though, Kelvin. He allowed the race to continue, although he can declare a result. He'll have to watch it again, and Scott Nicholls checking up on Danny King, and let's hope that Danny's going to be okay.
There was a little bit of room. King was just off the inside. Nicholls is renowned for his technique of getting up the inside. He was frustrated, he was out the back. I suggest it was just a tough racing incident, but it was a very spectacular get-off. You watch the bike, when we see it again, you watch what happens to the motorbike. Fortunately, it doesn't clip anybody. Here we come in, last lap. King just misses the line. Nicholls has got it, comes up the inside there, that's a clean pass. I'll tell you what, Nicholls nearly, Stuart Robson there, but certainly unsettles Danny King. I suggest that King will be the one that goes, and that's the reason the red lights didn't come on.
Oh, that's an awkward landing for Danny King, and let's send him our very best wishes and hope that he's going to get up very shortly.
Tell you what, Nicholls does well to stay on there, because he hits the side of Stuart Robson. He gets so much speed coming out of the corner, and it's a terrific move from him. But wow, dramatic stuff in the early part of this British Championship.
Still having treatment on the back straight, Danny King. And look at this.
Yeah, Nicholls does lift there, you know, he's lucky. And so is that man. Fortunately, nobody runs over him because there's nobody behind him.
This is Danny King. We're on board with Danny right now. This is the view of the incident. Awkward landing for Danny. And not the way to start the British final for the Birmingham man. And I can tell you that Danny King, the race does stand because Stuart Robson has actually pipped Tai Woffinden right on the line.
Really?
Yep, it was quite astonishing the way he just got the better of him right towards the end. Robson, Woffinden, Nicholls, and Danny King taking his time. Let's hope that this is a precaution and that he's going to be okay. But what a start this is. Drama-filled opening to the British final here.
I didn't see the ride at the end of the race. I was looking at the incident. There we've seen the drama going down the back straight on the last time. Woffinden is miles in front, must have made a mistake. There it is, huge lift coming out of the last corner and throws it away. Oh, unbelievable.
Well, our eyes were on Danny King because we're just concerned that he's okay and that he's going to be able to walk away from this.
Yeah, I missed that completely. I was just transfixed by the dramatic way he came off the motorbike, but Stuart Robson pounces in the right place at the right time.
What a fantastic start for Stuart Robson. 3 points for him.
Well,
Danny King's up on his feet, by the way.
Good news. Well, Robson's had some good results in the British Championship. They finished second a few years ago.
Yep,
and
absolutely.
I've got to say, he's got off to the ideal start.
So the race winners so far, Edward Kennett and Stuart Robson, 3 points to them. And a reminder that it's the top two that go straight through to the final later tonight.
Cool.
And the next four are in the race-off to qualify for the final. So what a start. Danny King's up on his feet. Let's hope he's going to be okay to continue. Stuart Robson, the race winner of Heat 2, is with Charlie.
Yeah, thank you. I've got Stuart with me. All the riders are crowded around watching you. That was either very clever or a bit sneaky over the last line. You managed to get Tai slowing down. Talk us through the very end.
Yeah, I'll just settle for second, to be honest. Tai had sort of had it in the bag. I was pushing, but and he made a mistake. Quite enough to save it, but quite enough to let me through. So I thought, thank you very much.
And talk us through the rest of the race, because it was so incredibly tight.
Yes, it was. I don't really know. I was just trying to concentrate on my own thing. I could hear Danny on the outside of us, and I thought I could hear Scott around the inside. I wasn't really sure. And then I was just trying to hold the inside line, because I know sort of coming off the corner at the moment, it's generally the thing to do. So, yeah, I got a bit of a nudge off Scott. I didn't know if it was my fault, because I made a mistake on the corner myself, or if he picked up or what. I don't really know what happened there. Then the next thing, Danny's upside down, so hopefully Danny's okay.
Well, he's up on his feet, which is good. You said he was clutching to his chest, but he is off the track now. A lot of the talk in the pits is that the track is very slick, and we've just seen quite a few incidents already. What is it from your point of view?
Well, it's not so much slick, but is compared to what you expect from Wolverhampton. There's not as much grip as what you would normally be here, but there is actually quite a bit coming off the corner still on the inside, and it probably is going to make a good line around the outside. So as long as it stays quite consistent and even, it'll be good. It is going to make lines on it, so should be some good racing.
Well, thank you and congratulations on your heat win.
Thank you.
Danny King has just walked past our studio, and I just checked, and he gave us the thumbs up as if to say that he'll be okay to continue. That's
it was winded,
good news.
wasn't he? It was winded, yeah.
Absolutely.
But I tell you what, I hope Tai Woffinden doesn't regret that mistake in that last corner, because he had the race in the bag and just lifted. Track a little bit patchy, bit slick in places, should settle down, but he just suggests that the sunshine and it's very breezy here. It's drying the track out very quickly.
Heat number 3 coming up. Lewis Bridger ruled out tonight through injury, by the way. Joe Haines is his replacement. This man is Simon Stead, former British under-21 champion. I would love to add British title to that. Here's the lineup then. Off the inside, the Swindon Robins man Simon Stead. In red, gate 2 is Craig Cook, who rides for Edinburgh in the Premier League, Bellevue in the Elite League. Ben Barker goes off gate number 3 in white. Had a great night for Birmingham last Thursday. And Joe Haines, who was called up late, won the British under-21 title on this very track back in April. He's off the outside in yellow, rides for the Sheffield Tigers.
Yeah, and the Sheffield track, of course, is a big fast track, so that's a terrific achievement at this more technically demanding track. Simon Stead on his night could be a spoiler, but this track doesn't suit his style. He likes the big wide open tracks like Swindon, King's Lynn, no question he loves that. This is more of a challenge for Simon. Not suggesting he can't do well tonight, but it is a tough ask for him.
Yeah, he won one of his British under-21 titles here at Wolverhampton, actually, but you're quite right, Kelvin. I think he freely admits, Simon, that you know, he's a big track man.
Yeah,
he
no
prefers
question.
the wide open spaces.
Ben Barker, he could be spectacular tonight. Keep an eye out of him. He's coming out of gate 3 there with the red bike with the white helmet colour.
He's a man very much on form, and a bit of a shaky start there, but the referee's let that one go, and Ben Barker has got the lead. Well, I thought the red lights might have come on there. Ben Barker is up front here now. Second place, Craig Cook. Simon Stead coming around the outside in the red helmet colour now. Trailing in the back is Joe Haines, but the lead is with Ben Barker. And for me, Kelvin, I thought there was a bit of movement at the start again there.
Yeah, scruffy start. I'm a bit like you. I thought the red lights might come on, but Ben Barker, he's got himself to the front. Got to say, Craig Cook in second place. He's having a good ride. Simon Stead is having a bit of a blast now round the outside. Chops back to the inside. I think he could get there.
Nice
up
move.
The inside, sweet nose. Whoa, leg out the back. He runs wide. Is he going to hang on to it? He allows Cook back into second place. Yes, he does. Big mistake there, unfortunately, having ridden so well. Woody up the inside again. Terrific.
Good speedway in the British final. Ben Barker is going to take the victory here. Simon Stead is hunting him down. That was entertaining stuff. And Ben Barker takes a checkered flag.
Well,
Simon Stead, after a hard-fought battle with Craig Cook, it was entertaining to say the least there.
I'll say.
And
turn and throwing every corner, just passing and repassing. Ben Barker did it the nice way. He hit the front and was relatively unchallenged. Got to say that Simon Stead and Craig Cook put on a great show there. And Simon Stead really sort of, well, he gave it 100% effort, but a good start for Barker. He'll be pleased with that. That will settle him down.
Like to see the start again. I'm glad there wasn't a red light because we don't want any more delays, but
no,
you know, in the fairness of competition, I'd like to see that start again. Ben Barker the winner, Simon Stead was second, Craig Cook was third, Joe Haines trailed in at the back, and let's take a look at what it means now for the overall standings. Top 2 straight through to the final, of course, and the next 4 into the race-off. Kennett, Robson and Barker, the 3 winners so far. Roynon, Woffinden and Stead on 2 points apiece, and there's 4 riders yet to race. They'll be up in heat number 4 next.
We see it again. Yeah, a little bit of movement there from Blue. Blue actually got a sharp side away. And Craig Cook, and also all riders nervous, no doubt, very nervous. They know how important it is to make a sharp start in your first race, desperate to get some points on the board early doors. Super race this, Craig Cook just running a little bit wide there, and Simon Stead sneaks up the inside, but he then runs wide, gets too much grip going in, and is a little bit out of control, and Cook then responds by getting back up the inside, but he then runs wide, and it's a terrific battle with Simon Stead finally getting the second place.
Ben Parker, good win for him. He's with Chris Louis.
Thanks, Nigel. Yeah, great way to start tonight, Ben. I was talking to you before the meeting. You said you're really fed up with the stranglehold that Scott and Chris have got on the championship. Not a bad way to start your night.
Yeah, definitely. You know, I'm here to have a good go at winning it. You know, I feel in good form, and I had a good first ride, which is always a good start. So if I can have 5 more like that, it'd be perfect.
Gate 3 not always good here at Wolverhampton, so you must have been especially pleased to score 3 points off that gate.
Yeah, I've got 2 tough gates. I've got gate 3, gate 4, which obviously are going to be tough early on. So try and make them pay, and at least keep scoring points off them.
I heard track conditions were a little bit bumpy here last week for the league match. How are they tonight?
Track didn't seem too bad, just seemed a little bit slicker than normal. So, but you know, we got a good setup. We got a good setup going, so it's good.
Good luck for the rest of the night. Thanks, Ben.
Thanks. Cheers.
Heat number 4 coming up here. Josh Auty in yellow, a man who has had a great season for Birmingham in the Elite League and Scunthorpe in the Premier League as well. A busy boy, Josh Auty. This man, Chris Harris, one of the favourites for the title tonight.
Yeah, and rightly so. He has a terrific record, of course, in the National Championship. He's been going hammer and tongs with Scotty Nicholls over the recent years, since 2004 in actual fact, so they really have had a stranglehold on it. Harris spoke to his chief mechanic, Mark Courtney, before the meeting started. They've been working through the bike.
Lanham off the inside in red, Ashworth off gate 2 in blue. Gate 3 is Chris Harris, and off the outside, Josh Auty. Ashworth riding for Birmingham, but his full-time club is Berwick this year and riding well. Heat number 4, oh dear, what is going on at the start here tonight? These boys quite clearly nervous. It's the National Championship, and here we have another delay. Frustration here at Monmouth Green so far in the opening 4 heats of the night.
Indeed. It's a very protracted start to the meeting, isn't it? Drawn out, it's unfortunate. Josh Auty there just being a bit impatient. Oh dear, very impatient. You know, well, that's a desperate start for me, straight in the tapes. He'll be excluded.
Well, Josh Auty, who has had a terrific season so far, is disqualified from heat number 4 because of the fact that he touched the tapes there. There was a riders' briefing earlier. Graham Flint did have a chat with the riders about the starts. Hive of activity down in the pits area. And Tom Perry is the man who's going to take his place as the track reserve. Tom Perry will come in here in yellow in heat number 4. But for Josh Auty, Kelvin, a rider with high hopes, has scored loads of points for Birmingham in the Elite League, Scunthorpe in the Premier League, and he's going to start with a big fat 0 here tonight now.
Yeah, disappointing. He'll be kicking himself. He just needed to be a bit more patient. Yes, riders are nervous, but you know, he was just charging at the tapes, and there's no way you can get away with that. He just lost his composure. Harris, though, he'll be keen to get on with it, of course. He want to get the 3 points in the bag. He's a red-hot favourite for tonight. Josh Auty there, frustration, no question about that. He's been enjoying a good season, but that's not the way to start the British Championship. Pressure on now. He's only got 4 opportunities to try and make progress into that big final.
Scott Nicholls, he didn't have the ideal start to the meeting either, but Josh Auty has been scoring double figures for Birmingham and for Scunthorpe in the Premier League, and he's been mentioned along with the likes of Roynon as potential outsiders to really go to the final tonight.
Maybe that's why he was so nervous on the start line. You know, people start talking, saying that, you know, you could have a good chance tonight. This crowd here very patiently waiting on. It's a super atmosphere here. It's really is packed down the start and finish straight, so that's great to see. And they want to see some super speedway.
They'll be selling plenty of ice cream because there's a lot of gaps in between races here. Time to nip off for an ice cream here at Monmouth Green. Oh, that looks tasty, doesn't it? And yeah, a good crowd, great to see. Lots of children here as well with the school holidays being on, and it's great to see such a big crowd for a national title. It certainly deserves that for sure.
You have to say that it went through the doldrums a bit, the National Championship, when the Grand Prix really set sail. But now with the opportunity of getting the wild card through to the British Grand Prix, And I just sense that, you know, the stature of the meeting is on the up and up again now. And we've got plenty of competitive racing, but it's been a tough start to tonight, you know. It's never easy, of course, but yeah, I think Josh Auty there just feeling the pressure.
So, heat number 4 coming up, the riders' race jackets. You will note on the back of the riders' race jackets tonight, Rico, in memory of Leigh Richardson, who, of course, had a good record himself in the British final, and still very much at the front of our minds.
Yeah, surprised he never won one, you know. He was very good, never quite got there, but yeah, very much so. Nice tribute to a smashing rider. Leigh Lanham there, of course, he comes in at the last minute in place of Oliver Allen, who has got a broken arm.
Yeah, we wish Ollie well for a recovery.
Unfortunately, Ollie, he's in the wars again, but Leigh Lanham, he's had some good rides in the British Championship in the past.
He has, and off the inside, Leigh Lanham from the Coventry Bees then in the Elite League. Ricky Ashworth, gate 2 in blue. Chris Harris goes off gate 3 in white. And the local lad, the teenager Tom Perry, rides for Somerset in the Premier League, as well as Dudley in the National League here at Wolverhampton. He goes off the outside. Chris Harris in white then, he'll really fancy his chances in this race.
Yeah, he'll want to get off to a good start. There's no question about that. You know, in your mind, when you focus on an event like this, you don't want to put yourself under too much pressure with races running out. So you want to get on with it. You want to get 3 points in the bag and take the pressure off, so you make sure you get through to the final.
And a good Grand Prix at the weekend as well. Chris Harris in Gorishan, Croatia, and he's made a good start, but not quite as good as Ricky Ashworth in blue. Ricky Ashworth leads Chris Harris here. Tom Perry is third, ahead of Leigh Lanham. Perry, the reserve, then in third place right now, but the lead here is Ricky Ashworth, former Sheffield Tiger, has experience in the Elite League. He's doubled up with Poole and Peterborough, now with the Berwick Bandits, and having a great season. Ricky Ashworth as well, it has to be said.
Yeah.
Ashworth has the lead, second place Harris, and Tom Perry is third.
Fabulous stuff from Ricky Ashworth.
Whoa!
Here comes Harris, steams up the inside. Ooh, Ricky Ashworth very nearly ran in the back of him, and he made Harris work a little bit harder than he probably thought he was. Terrific battle going on out the back between Leigh Lanham. Certainly Lanham now getting up into third place. Yeah, squeezing there, but Harris now out in front, not completely convinced.
Well, and the battle at the back, Tom Perry using his knowledge of this Wolverhampton track. He rides here most Tuesdays, but the win is with Chris Harris, second place there. Went to Ricky Ashworth. That was a good race. Third, Leigh Lanham, who had to work hard to get the better of Tom Perry there. I know the Somerset promoter, Debbie Hancock, is here tonight. Good to see so many club promoters that have made the journey to Wolverhampton to support this event here tonight as well. It's good to see. And Chris Harris off to a winning start, but perhaps not as comfortable as he thought it might have been.
No, he didn't look entirely convincing to me. I suggest they'll be making a few tweaks to the setup, but Ricky Ashworth, he was a surprise package there. Terrific away from the tapes. And for a couple of laps there, he made the Grand Prix start work really hard.
Yeah, good ride by Ricky Ashworth, smashing lad from Manchester, from Salford actually.
Yeah.
And Chris Harris, the race winner, 3 points in the bag for him. Ricky Ashworth was second, Leigh Lanham third, after that battle with Tom Perry. 4 heats gone, then every rider has now completed one ride.
Tapes are up and they roar away into the first corner. Harris we're looking at coming out of gate 3. He just lifted a little bit, but Ricky Ashworth, he powers into the first corner and he dominates. He stamps his authority here for a couple of laps. He was out in front, making this man Harris work very hard. Harris finally just got himself up into the inside and he fires himself to the front. Leigh Lanham and Tom Perry out the back having a good scrap for the minor placings. Tom Perry there making Lanham work very hard. Just gets shuffled out of it at the end, but Harris out in front gets the big 3 points.
So 3 points for Chris Harris then. There's 4 riders who lead the way here. Kennett, Robson, Barker and Harris. Race wins so far. Second place is to Woffinden, Stead, Ashworth and Roynon. A reminder all about the top 6 if you've just joined us tonight. Getting into the British final race is about the top 2. The next 4 go into a race-off. The action's tense, it's nervous, it's edgy, and we've had 4 of the races so far. Join us for more British final action live from Wolverhampton. Heat number 5 is coming up when we come back. Live British final speedway action from the Monmouth Green Stadium in Wolverhampton. We've seen restarts, we've seen a bit of drama and controversy and crashes galore. Scott Nicholls not off to the best of starts, and then Danny King in the restart hit the deck.
Tell you what, his front wheel clips the back of Stuart Robson. You see how quickly the bike just lifts up underneath him. That was a wild crash, and he does well to pick himself up.
The 2012 British final is live from Monmouth Stadium in Wolverhampton. 4 of the 20 qualifying heats have been completed. We're up to heat 5 now here, as Josh Auty looks to make the start this time after the nightmare of touching the tapes in his previous outing. Hasn't therefore been out on the track yet.
The only consolation is he hasn't had to wait long. You know what I mean? He can get it out of his system now. So he's coming out, he's off gate 1 this time, needs to sit still.
And Tai Woffinden is in the white helmet colour, had that slip, and was in second place in his opening ride. Then, so heat number 5 coming up. Josh Auty goes off the inside in red. Robert Mear is off gate 2 in blue. Tai Woffinden gate 3 in white, and Ben Barker off the outside in yellow. And a winner first time out can expect a fair old battle between Woffinden and the man in yellow, Ben Barker. They'll really go for it here. That's not ruling out the other 2 boys, Kel.
No, Ben Barker's a hard charger. You know, you see him before meetings. He is really determined, he's focused, and he can be very exciting. Gate 3's been terrific, and Tai Woffinden's in the box seat so far. Unusually, gates 1 and 4 have been pointless so far, so no race wins from there, but I'm sure that'll change as we go further into the meeting. But this man, so much talk about Tai Woffinden prior to the meeting starting. A lot of expectation, he has to be feeling it.
So the tape tries, and Woffinden's made a good one off gate number 3. Woffinden hits that first turn then. Second place is Auty right now. Mear's coming around. Ben Barker at the back now, and Ben Barker will try the inside line here, and Ben Barker gets third place. The man in red, Josh Auty, has now been relegated to the back, and Barker's come through into second superbly. It's Woffinden who has the lead from Barker, and Mear under pressure from Auty now.
Yeah, Tai Woffinden clean away from the start, looking good out in front, has to remain composed, must keep his concentration going because he's comfortably out in front. Ben Barker had to scrap hard. He really had to hustle through into second place. Josh Auty and Robert Mear having a real tussle for third place, but the race is all about Woffinden.
Yeah, Woffinden has got this race under control, started his British career with Scunthorpe in the National League. Scunthorpe won Tai Woffinden, but of course has spent the majority of his young life in Australia as second place. Oh, that's a nasty looking crash.
Crikey!
Nasty looking crash there.
Josh Auty. Robert Mear bite the dust really hard. Josh Auty's up immediately, and Robert Mear is trapped around motorbikes, but out of nothing, a dramatic incident.
Yeah, that was an awful looking crash, it has to be said. Dreadful way to end the race. The referee's got to declare a result, but of course that's secondary right now.
Wow.
In comparison to what we've just seen.
That was so spectacular, out of nothing. You know, look, the race was nearly over. Josh Auty, good to see him up on his feet. I suggest that Robert Mear's feeling the full effects of this because that was a dramatic incident at high speed late on in the race. And they go charging into turn 3, laid down on the last lap. And it was like Auty, I don't know, I've got to see it again. I just was concerned. It was...
Yeah, well, obviously we just want to check that Robert Mear is going to be okay. He's having treatment down on the apex of the 3rd and 4th turn. And there is an ambulance being called for, I'm sorry to say, so just keep our fingers crossed that Robert is going to be okay after that. That was a heavy impact.
It was, and motorbikes were all around him, and they're dangerous things when you're wrapped up around them going at high speed. And handlebars and footrests can do all sorts of things to you, so fingers crossed.
Yep, absolutely. Not a sight that anybody likes to see in Speedway, and we send our very best wishes to Robert Mear and hope that he's going to be okay. The crowd obviously showing some concern as well for Robert.
Yeah,
and,
there's a hush, isn't
there? Keep our fingers crossed, yeah, absolutely. And once again, the dangers of this sport, which gives us so many thrills, the dangers of this sport once again rammed home with an incident like that, Kelvin.
Tough game, and you know, you have to respect the commitment of riders. Just out of nothing, it all looked like it was fairly much, it settled down. The 2 boys at the back were having a real good tussle, and just out of nothing, it just suddenly just shows you how quickly things can turn around. Josh Auty and Robert Mear collecting and getting tied up going into that corner. I only caught it out of the corner of my eye. I was concentrating on Woffinden actually sealing the deal out in front.
Well, Tai Woffinden is down in the pits with Charlie now.
Yeah, thank you. We're just going to have a chat with Tai while we make sure that everything goes okay on the track with Robert Mear. Tai, how hard is it with the constant stop-starts out here, and why is there so many riders sort of struggling out there on the track?
I'm struggling a lot up that bottom corner. There's a big grippy bit coming out, and when you come in, the sun's in your eyes, and I'm like squinting and like holding onto the bars a bit tighter than I normally do, and not getting a very nice ride. But it's a tough night. It's going to be hard racing all the way to the end, so it's probably going to drag on a bit.
Yeah, Stuart, Robson was also talking about visibility and how he literally couldn't see anything. How hard is it?
It is hard. I think we should pause the meeting for a bit until the whole track's covered in shade. It's really bad. As soon as you come around into the third corner, as soon as you start leaning it in, it's just like boom there, and I've got my peak down as low as it can go. I look like a goon, but I don't really care. I'm trying to make it so I can see.
It's all about performance, not about looks. I do have to ask you though, how annoyed were you with yourself at the earlier heats?
Yeah, definitely. Like a pathetic mistake that I shouldn't have done. Like I was just saying, came into the corner, squeezing my handlebars a little bit too tight, not getting comfy. Hit a little bit of grip, lifted. Did it twice in my first race and last lap in my last race. So I'm pretty disappointed in my riding so far. I've got to step it up a notch. What
have you got your eye on tonight? Is it the British title or the wild card at the Grand Prix? What's in your head?
British title, straight up. Cardiff's just an extra, but I want to be British champion. It's simple as that.
And how are you feeling actually? Because I know you've not been feeling well. You've been tired and injuries.
Yeah, I dislocated my shoulder at Poole on Wednesday. Popped it back in and did another ride, and it felt all right. Went jet skiing day after. I felt good. It's a little bit sore when I lift my arm up. And I've had the flu since the World Cup, but I've been banging them in Poland, so I haven't really got any excuses.
Thanks, Tai.
Cheers.
Yes, so obviously we wish Robert Mear all the very best, and as soon as we get any more definite news, then we will, of course, let you know. Just to emphasise again how dangerous this sport is, but we send our good wishes to Robert Mear, who is getting attention down on the track right now. One man who knows what the British final is all about and what it means to the riders is the legendary Chris Morton, who's now the Bellevue promoter, of course, and he's down in the pits with Chris Louis now.
Thanks, Nigel. Yeah, Chris Morton, MBE, no less. Chris, you know what it's all about in the British final. It took you 8 years from 75 to get your first one, but you won it in 83. It's a tough night, isn't it?
It certainly is. It always, I mean, as we're seeing here, what have we done? We've undone a few heats. We've had a few incidents already on a track that's, there's not lots of grip there, but all the guys are getting stuck in. It means a lot to these riders.
When it means that much, there isn't that much room either, though. This first turn is always notoriously tight. When everybody's desperate for a British Championship, not only that, a place as a wild card at Cardiff, it gets even tighter.
Certainly a lot at stake here. We've got some good quality riders as well that are coming through. Lads here from Premier League who are causing a bit of trouble for the Elite League riders as well. I think we're seeing a lot of talent here tonight, and it's good to see that, but it's always going to be a tough meeting. It's never been easy.
As you say, it's never been easy. I mean, back in your day, certainly my day as well, at times there were 16 riders that really could win this meeting, and tonight that seems to be coming back. I mean, there's been a stranglehold with Scott Nicholls, Chris Harris, Tai Woffinden and Eddie Kennett have been sort of getting roster in places, but tonight there seems to be so many more guys, Danny King, Ben Barker, Simon Stead, and the youngsters like Josh Auty all coming through.
Yeah, they're all getting stuck in. So even saw Ricky Ashworth there holding off Chris Harris for a couple of laps, and they all want to get involved in the action, and the Cardiff place means a lot to everyone.
Great, thanks Chris.
Cheers. Thanks.
Yeah, Chris Morton, a fine rider in his day, no question about that. The very latest that we are hearing is that Robert Mear is talking to the ambulance staff, and that obviously, hopefully, he's going to be okay, and we'll bring you further details just as soon as we can. This is the reason why we have this delay right now. Let's take a look at it again, and it is a real horrendous crash at the end of the race. The referee is seeing these angles as well.
Well, we've got Robert Mear on the inside, and of course Josh Auty there on the outside, and he's gone in deep there. There's a little bit of contact. Mear just high sides nastily, and that's a tough one, and I suggest that it's going to be a difficult decision for the referee. It looks like Robert Mear from the inside has actually taken out Josh Auty, but obviously Robert Mear is they're taking every precaution.
Quite right too as well, and this is exactly the right thing, and they're taking great care of Robert Mear after this incident. The referee taking another look, needs to see these to make his decision on the
problem is that Josh
result.
Auty is so wide. Robert Mear has passed him, and as if they turn in, Josh Auty just runs into the back of Robert Mear, and that causes a really dramatic incident. And as I say, whoa.
Yeah, it's heavy impact and it's high speed as well.
Really
as
tough.
they're charging into the turn.
I think that Josh Auty there was just left the door wide open. Robert Mear was up the inside and then he reacted too late.
I can tell you that Josh Auty is disqualified, so the result is Tai Woffinden, Ben Barker and Robert Mear third, but quite clearly we're not going to see Robert Mear in action for the remainder of tonight's meeting. Heat number 5, let's confirm the result for you then. Tai Woffinden the race winner, Ben Barker second, Robert Mear was third, and Josh Auty disqualified. Poor night for Josh Auty then, yet to score a point after 2 rides. Woffinden on 5, Barker on 5, they lead the way in this British final here at Wolverhampton. And as we say, Robert Mear now having great care and attention, and we could see from the shots there, quite understandably so, that they're taking great time over transferring him onto the stretcher and into the ambulance.
You see the bike flip over. You know, it was very quickly he got caught on the rear of the bike by Josh Auty, and the bike then pulls a big locker underneath him and the hide sides over and he slams into the track, and he's clearly very knocked about, but fingers crossed he isn't too seriously injured.
Yeah, absolutely. We wish him all the very best. We know what a dangerous sport this is. It's been hammered home to us so many times, and particularly this year as well. And fingers crossed that Robert Mear is going to be okay. We'll be back on with the action with heat number 6 very soon. Obviously, great care and attention is being given to Robert Mear, and it's absolutely the right thing to do. There's lots of former British champions here tonight. Kelvin Tatum alongside me, Chris Louis on our team tonight as well. Chris Morton we've just interviewed. Andy Graham is here tonight as well. He won it once 30 years ago. So there's plenty of former British champions. It's like a roll call. If you include Scott Nicholls and Chris Harris as well, there's plenty of British champions here tonight.
And that's great to see. I'm sure they're all enjoying it. It has been a little bit drawn out so far. We've seen plenty of stop-start action, but got to say that I'm sure all of them are very proud to have been national champion, whether it's 30 years ago or whether it was last year.
And the question is, who will be British champion tonight? Scott Nicholls looking for title number 7 tonight, as we wish Robert Mear all the very best. He gets a great round of applause from the crowd as he's taken off in the ambulance, no doubt heading off to New Cross Hospital here in Wolverhampton. And
just reflecting on last year, Nigel, you know, Scott Nicholls really did want that championship. Got to say that Tai Woffinden had dominated the meeting and he looked like a red-hot favourite to pick up his first title, but the final, you've got to say that Nicholls came up with a sterling performance and was absolutely determined to win.
Well, Chris Harris is down in the pits now. He's with Charlie.
Yeah, thank you. It's nice to see that Robert Mear is okay. A lot of the riders down here were very concerned. And with Chris, how's it affecting your night with the stop-start of the meeting?
It's not ideal, but obviously we just got to keep motivating and just keep running around and keep myself warm and just keep focused on my next race.
How much of a boost was it to get that win under your belt?
Yeah, definitely. It's always good to start a meeting with a win, and you know, that's that one out of the way, so we're going for the next race now and do the same off 4.
So come on then, how much would it mean to you to take it off Scott Nicholls?
Oh, it'd mean a lot. You know, obviously we beat here last year, so obviously I want to regain my title and show that I'm England's number 1.
And what boost would it give you going into the Cardiff Grand Prix, which we all know and love?
Yeah, winning any big meetings like this will give you confidence, and you know, a happy rider and a confident rider wins your meetings and races, so that's what we're here to do.
And how much does it mean to the other riders to get that wild card? I mean, obviously you're already in the Grand Prix.
Yeah, I think it would mean a lot for the ones that has not been there, but you know, so there's obviously 2 prizes up for grabs, so hopefully I can go home with the main one and somebody else can go home for Cardiff.
And in this meeting, is there any strategy to do it? Because last year we saw Tai Woffinden win everything and then get to the final and not end up getting the prize.
Not as such, just got to make sure you get points in every race, and once you're in that final, anything can happen, as you've seen last year with Tai. So, you know, it's one who's going to be the quickest around them 4 laps in that final.
All right, thanks very much, Chris.
Cheers.
It is extra pressure, that sudden death final, isn't it? You know, you had to feel a little bit for Woffinden last year, dominated the first 20 heats, but just dipped out in the big final, so you've got to remain focused right to the bitter end.
And we should say as well, if we do get any updates on Robert Mear, we will, of course, let you know. We wish him all the very best, Robert, who has made a great return to the sport after a year out, and credit Lakeside for bringing him back, and done a great job, hasn't he?
He has indeed. You know, he's been a very useful number 7. He's been, on his night, he's can pick up some handy points.
Well, we saw a sun delay at King's Lynn last week, extraordinary. And some of the riders are talking about struggling going into turn 3 and out of turn 4.
It's a very similar problem here going into turn 3. I've experienced it myself, but fingers crossed it doesn't cause a delay. We've had plenty of delays already. It might have actually done us a favour. We wouldn't have had to have that graphic again, racing delayed due to sunshine. Extraordinary.
Yep. Extraordinary scenes. Heat number 6 then off the inside. Ricky Ashworth in red. Simon Stead goes off gate number 2 in blue for Swindon. Gate 3 in white is Coventry's Edward Kennett. Stuart Robson goes off the outside. Rides for Newcastle in the Premier League. And Ricky Ashworth, although the graphic says Birmingham, he's not actually ridden for Birmingham yet. He is part of their squad. But he is a Berwick Bandits rider and enjoying his time there as well.
Yeah, he rode for Sheffield, of course, for a long period of time, but has moved to Berwick and is really having a good time. Spoke to him before the meeting. He said he's in good form. He's got plenty of meetings on. Really excited about tonight.
And why not? So, heat number 6. British Final Speedway, live from Wolverhampton. Same tries, and Ashworth's made a beauty off the inside gate. Ricky Ashworth hits that first turn, but watch out for Edward Kennett around the outside. And now on the inside as well, here comes Simon Stead, the man from the Swindon Robins in blue. Ashworth now has gone to the back, Robson's taken him wide. That was ruthless by Stuart Robson, but it was fair. Edward Kennett has the lead, Simon Stead second. Third place now, in yellow, is Stuart Robson.
Yeah, super stuff from Eddie Kennett. You've got to say Ricky Ashworth made a sensational start but rode a poor first lap. He went from first to last. That's disappointment for him. Out in front, Kennett looking okay, and you've got to say Simon Stead, this is great stuff from him. Not a track that he would like, but I tell you what, plenty of commitment there, and Robbo back in third place. Okay, but Eddie Kennett looking for back-to-back wins.
Yeah, Edward Kennett looking very comfortable on this track that he likes so well. We know that. You mentioned it earlier, Kelvin, brought up on the tight turns of Eastbourne, and loving it here at Wolves. Edward Kennett wins heat number 6 with Simon Stead second and Stuart Robson third there, ruthlessly taking out Ricky Ashworth, who started superbly and ended up last.
Yeah, that's disappointment for Ricky Ashworth. He made a great start but rode a poor first lap there, left the door wide open down the bottom end first time. Kennett though, what a great start. Hasn't been in good form of late, could be turning his season around tonight.
Result of heat 6, Edward Kennett the winner with Simon Stead in second place. Third was Stuart Robson. Ricky Ashworth trailed in at the back. It means that Edward Kennett is the clear leader now of this meeting. The top 2 go straight through to the final, remember. Edward Kennett the winner of that race now on 6 points. Tai Woffenden's on 5 with Ben Barker. Robson and Stead on 4, and Chris Harris with 3 points, but that's only from one ride, remember. Good stuff there from Edward Kennett after Ricky Ashworth made a beauty.
Yeah, Ashworth's on the inside in the red helmet colour. He comes charging in there, then he pulls a bit of a locker and he gets swamped down the back straight. Got to say Simon Stead and Eddie Kennett go either side of him, but Kennett was out in front. Terrific. Here we see it. Here we see a bit of battling there. Stuart Robson out of shape. Once again, this is the opening lap. Ashworth going too wide, and that allows Stuart Robson to block past him through there, but Kennett majestic in front.
Absolutely right. Chris Louis is down in the pits with Eddie Kennett.
Thanks, Nigel. Yeah, just going to grab a word. He's just talking to his mechanics. But I know from talking to Eddie earlier, he's absolutely desperate to go better than just a rostering place tonight. So we'll see if we can get a word with him. Eddie, if we could have a quick word. You're in depth talking to your technicians there, but a cracking start so far, 6 points.
Yeah, that's it. And didn't make the best starts, but I managed to get a good first corner. So I'm going to change a couple of things, and I know my dad's screaming at home saying stay on the inside, so I better get back to the bike to working on the inside.
Well, we know you can ride around the inside. You've grown up at Eastbourne. You do like these tight tracks, and you can make it work around the inside.
Yeah, that's it, and just hopefully we can get the bike working up, looking nice and quick off the inside.
You've got to run around the outside on turn 1. I mean, can we expect to see a dirt line, or is it a little bit too dry out there?
I think it's a little bit too dry. You know, it's taken quite a long time to get through the races with the stoppages, and I think it's drying up. So you might see a little one, but I think it'll be key that inside coming out of there.
Great start, well done.
Cheers.
Well, it's good to see Danny King out in this one in white in heat 7, because he was involved in a horrific crash himself in his opening ride, and we're on board with Danny as well. It's good to see that he's back out here, Kel.
Well, that is remarkable. That was a tough pull he had. He clipped the back of Stuart Robson. It threw the bike up in the air and threw him off, and did hit the track very hardly. Lanham, of course, he rides for Ipswich in the Premier League, and he's a last-minute replacement for Oliver Allen. We're up to heat 7. Looking like we're getting into a bit of a rhythm now.
Craig Cook then going off the inside, rides for the Edinburgh Monarchs in the Premier League and Bellevue in the Elite League. Leigh Lanham goes off gate number 2 in blue. We know because we saw him ride for Ipswich recently, of course, on Sky Sports, as well as Coventry. Danny King, lots of discomfort in the rib cage area. He goes off gate 3. And Adam Roynon, he goes off the outside in the yellow helmet colour. This is heat number 7. Good to see Danny King back out there and on board, as we say. So, which way will this go? Heat 7 of the British final, and it's a decent start from Roynon off the outside gate in yellow, but not as good as Craig Cook in red. Coming through in blue as well is Leigh Lanham down that back straight. He's very close, and Danny King looks as though he's struggling, to be fair to him. The lead here is with Craig Cook, Leigh Lanham second, Adam Roynon charging hard. Roynon comes through into second place now.
Yeah, good ride from Adam Roynon there, but Leigh Lanham is responding, and it's a tussle down the back straight. Roynon slams the door shut as he goes narrow into turn 3. Out in front, Craig Cook, this is smashing stuff from him. He's made the start from the inside and he's firing away. Adam Roynon, who is enjoying a great season himself, is now settled pretty comfortably in second place. But Craig Cook, this is good stuff from him. Can he hang on?
Well, Danny King couldn't hang on. He's pulled up, he's out of the race, and he's obviously in a lot of discomfort talking to medical staff on the infield. But the lead here is with the young man, Craig Cook of the Edinburgh Monarchs. Young man from Cumbria who is really making a fine career out of Speedway, and that's good to see. Craig Cook with the victory from Adam Roynon, from Leigh Lanham, and Danny King sadly on his way back to the pits area, and quite clearly that is the injury that is affecting him, and it has to now be a question of whether we see Danny King out there again tonight, because he's pulled up quite clearly with rib damage there.
No, I think unlikely.
Yep.
Unlikely. That was a hard impact, and you've got to say that's a disappointment for him, but delight for Craig Cook. That was a good ride, and there was some good young riders out there. Cook and Roynon, you know, they showed good promise, and I've got to say that that was better stuff from them. But Craig Cook, away from the tapes, does the business.
So the result, Craig Cook, the race winner, with Adam Roynon in second place there. Third was Leigh Lanham, and Danny King failed to complete the race. What it means now is that Edward Kennett leads on 6, with Tai Woffinden on 5, Ben Barker on 5 as well. And you've got 4 riders on 4 points, Robson, Cook, Stead and Roynon in the battle for a place in the top 6. But Chris Harris has only got 3 points. That's because he's only had 1 ride.
They're into the first corner. Cook on the inside makes a great start. Round the outside, Adam Roynon there trying to get into it, but Lanham sneaks up the inside. But Adam Roynon then rides a really good start, really good corner, and gets into second place. We're on board with Danny King. There's Adam Roynon, comes sweeping across from the outside. Down the back straight for the first time, and Danny King realises there's just too much discomfort. Leigh Lanham and Adam Roynon there battling over second and third, but Craig Cook, that was a smashing ride for him.
And Charlie is with Craig Cook.
Yeah, certainly am. Craig, fantastic start there. Talk us through it.
Yeah, just made a good gate, and just went straight to the dirt, and 4 solid laps, you know. Nice little win for me, so happy with that.
How much of a confidence boost is that, especially you've got 4 points now?
Yeah, the first race was a bit of a bummer, to be fair. 1 point, and, you know, I should have had 2 from that one, but yeah, nice little boost for me now. Another 3 points on the board, so let's keep it going and hopefully get a few more points on board.
This is your debut in a British final. What are your expectations now and coming into this?
No expectations whatsoever, really. Just come here, have fun, and show everyone what I'm about.
You're certainly doing that. Thanks very much.
Yeah, thank you very much. Thanks.
Well, Richard Lawson here in heat number 8, looking to get off to a better start than he did in his opening ride when he was disqualified, of course, in the
He's had to wait a long time,
stages. Yeah,
he's going to have to be very patient. It'll be cold now. It's a chilly evening now, and you've got to say that not the ideal start. But Scott Nicholls, 3rd place, first time out, needs to pick it up, no question. Looked a little bit off the pace in the first one.
Chris Harris off the outside in yellow. Nicholls against Harris then in heat number 8. It's a tasty lineup this, with Richard Lawson and Joe Haines as well. But Nicholls off gate 2 in blue, Harris off the outside in yellow. This is going to be worth watching. Richard Lawson off the inside in red. Gate number 2 in blue is Scott Nicholls, gate 3 is Joe Haines, and off the outside Chris Harris. Watch out for the riders off 2 and 4, and that's with all due respect to the riders off 1 and 3. But Nicholls against Harris in the British final is always worth watching.
Yeah, Harris is on the outside, no race wins from there so far. That could well change now. Of course, Nicholls is already there, keen to get on with the action, but yes, you may well be saying Nicholls and Harris again a little bit later on.
So, heat number 8, and it's a good start from Scott Nicholls in blue. He's going to go wide. Harris is going to switch up the inside. Lovely move from Chris Harris in the yellow helmet colour. Look at this for a battle up top now. Harris is the man in yellow. Here comes Scott Nicholls again. These are teammates for Great Britain. They're teammates for Coventry. But that was a smart move by Chris Harris, Kelvin, to take the lead.
Super it was. Got to say, Scott Nicholls just went a fraction wide, but Nicholls has got pace this time. Nicholls round the outside. Harris up the inside. Harris slams the door shut. Nicholls comes charging into the first turn for the second time. Switches back to the inside. Wheels in line. Nicholls, what a classy ride that is. Fires himself back up to the inside. Now Harris switches back to the inside. He gets himself to the front. It's not the final, people. This is just the heat to get there. What a display of speedway out in front.
Chris Harris has the lead. Now, which way will Nicholls go? He's going into the dirt. Scott Nicholls in blue down to the line.
Done him. Wow. Gotta say, that's tight. What a smashing speedway race it was. The two boys out in front. Nicholls fancies he's got it. Got to say, it was a clean, fair ride.
It was brilliant.
Fantastic speedway, best race of the night, easy.
Great respect from both riders as well. There's been talk that they haven't got on in the past, but they worked well together in the World Cup. They're working well together for Coventry.
Well,
this is the finish of the race.
You know, Scott Nicholls comfortably gets there in the end, round the outside in turn 3 and 4. But you've got to say, Nicholls always lifts his game, raises his game. This meeting means so much to him.
Scott Nicholls a race winner, Chris Harris second, Joe Haines was third. Richard Lawson didn't complete the race, which will be a disappointment to him. He hasn't finished the race so far. And this is what it means now overall. It means that Edward Kennett is the clear leader of the meeting on 6, with Woffinden, Barker and Harris all on 5 apiece. Robson, Cook, Nicholls, Roynon and Stead all on 4 points apiece. Every rider has now had 2 outings each here in the British final, and that was the best race of the night so far.
Oh, easy. 2 races in 1 here. They were a long way out in front. Nicholls initially makes a smashing start from gate 2. He goes for the dirt and Harris reads that. Great. Up the inside, powers himself to the front, but Nicholls doesn't take it laying down. Rides a superstar race here. Look at this, coming in wide, chopping back to the inside and gets that little bit of extra grip up the inside and gets to the front. Harris then replaces the complement and does exactly the same with 1 lap to go, but what a terrific last lap of speedway it was from Nicholls. He gets himself round the outside and just steals that win away. Super speedway race, no question about that. Look at this, absolutely terrific, real commitment round the outside.
Wow, great speedway from Nicholls and Harris, and I'm sure we're going to see them having a battle again later on in the evening. Great crowd here as the sun sets in the West Midlands. The British final is nicely poised. Heat number 9 is coming up when we come back. Welcome back to Wolverhampton. It's the British final live speedway tonight from the Monmouth Green Stadium. 8 races gone. Let's head down to the pits area as we just take a look again at Scott Nicholls and Chris Harris. What a move.
Yeah, this is great.
This was, Kelvin.
Yeah, blasts around the outside in the last corner and just steals that win away from Harris. And that was a real early psychological blow for Nicholls.
Well, Chris Louis is with Scott Nicholls right now.
Thanks, Nigel. Heat 8, certainly the race of the night, and Kelvin's just described it as a psychological blow for Chris Harris, but for you it was just about scoring points. 3rd place in your first race, with guys like Ben Barker, Eddie Kennett and Chris all scoring solid points. Got to keep working to get in that top 2 straight in the final.
That's it, you know. It's yeah, I had a disappointing first race, so you know I really wanted to make up for it in that one, and like I've said, you know, last year, I mean, it's nice to get the wins, but it all comes down to that one race. So you know, for me, I just want to stack as many points up as I can. Be nice to go straight through to the final, but like everything before that goes out the window. So just got to be dialed in for that last race.
We know that you and Chris are great rivals. You've shared this British title for 8 years now, but there was a certain amount of respect there. You guys were just racing, giving everything to each other, and just leaving that little bit of room so you could do that.
That's it. I mean, it was a nice race. It was hard but very fair, and yeah, you know, me and Chris have had some hard battles, and we kind of sort of kissed the maid up a little bit, so it makes it a lot easier, doesn't it? So no, we're teammates at Coventry, but no, it was a fantastic race, and you know, but like I said, when it comes to that final, things may be a little bit different.
I'm sure they will. Good luck for the rest of the night. Thanks, Scott.
Thank you.
Well, Danny King has withdrawn from the meeting, but amazingly, the man in blue here, Robert Mear, so much for me saying he's on his way to hospital, he's actually he's on his way back onto the track here.
Well, this is,
and he is riding in the white helmet in heat number 9.
This is remarkable. Look at that, like a rag doll being thrown down the track, bouncing off the bike. Look at this, massive high side, over he goes, slams into the track. Head and shoulders and neck have got to be stiff, but Robert Mear, he's out there, ready to take his line. He wants to stay in the British final.
I don't think he can have seen those replays, because he
Well, that's a
wouldn't be
good
getting
thing.
out there
It's a
again.
good thing, isn't it? Because it's certainly, that's a bit of a horror show. Yeah, it's
fair play to him.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Extraordinary
And
scene.
commiserations to Danny King, as I just mentioned there. He has withdrawn from the meeting with rib damage, and obviously Birmingham will be hoping that's not too serious, because Birmingham have got some massive meetings coming up. Let's take a look at the lineup for Heat 9 of the British Finals. Stuart Robson goes off the inside in red. Chris Harris has just been involved in that great battle with Scott Nicholls. He's off gate 2 in blue. Robert Mear, gate 3 in white. Amazing to see him out in action again here.
Yeah.
And Craig Cook, winner last time out, he goes off the outside in yellow. Kelvin, these Speedway boys, they make them tough.
They do indeed. They're made of rubber. Got to be when you hit the track like that. And certainly Robert Mear's back out there. Red hot favourite, Chris Harris in gate 2.
Heat 9 away from the start. Harris has made a good one off gate 2 in the blue helmet colour. Coming around the outside is Craig Cook in yellow here. Down that back straight, super stuff from Craig Cook. Now we've got a race on. Harris tries the inside line, and he'll try and take Craig Cook wide, but Cook has held on. What a ride from Craig Cook here as Harris comes up the inside.
He's a little bit out of shape there and has to grab hold of the motorbike. He's back up the inside. Harris is spinning. They put some water on the track. It's a bit greasy, and Craig Cook is making him work very hard indeed. But Harris now just about stamping his authority on the race. Cook looking really good back in second place. Got to say, it's a smashing ride from him. Out in front, Harris now.
Robert Mear has pulled out of the race, by the way. I think we can forgive him for that after that get-off just a few moments ago. Harris with the lead now. Second place in yellow is Craig Cook, and third in red is Stuart Robson. And Chris Harris takes the checkered flag. It's fair to say that Harris is on his way through to at least the semi-final here tonight. Top 6. And you're into the semi-final, and that was a fantastic ride by Craig Cook.
Yes, absolutely. I thought for a moment he was going to run straight off the track there as he finished the first lap. He just lifted and the bike got away from him, and he came charging into the first corner and showed terrific speed. Got to say, I sense that Harris will be making a few tweaks to his motorbike. He had too much wheel spin there for a couple of laps. But out in front, Harris finally picks up the 3 points.
Craig Cook's moved on to 6 as well. Harris the winner, Craig Cook second, Stuart Robson third. Robert Mear didn't finish the race, but perfectly understandable. Amazed to see him out there having a go. Chris Harris now leads the meeting on 8, but he's ridden 1 more than his rivals. We've got Kennett and Cook on 6 points each now. Woffinden, Barker and Robson are on 5 points apiece. Good speedway, and Craig Cook pushed Chris Harris every step of the way here.
Didn't he? Initially, Harris makes a great start from gate 2. He comes into that first corner, but Craig Cook there with that bright, almost day glow front rim there. You can't miss his front wheel. Look at that. Charges out of gate 4, comes around the outside, and he got a lot of grip. He gets more grip, and he's hanging off the motorbike, and he can't quite believe it. He's going to pass Chris Harris. He comes charging. This is where he's out of control. And I thought for a moment he might just get it all wrong, but he just regains control and hangs on for a very useful 2 points, and he's enjoying a terrific night of Speedway. But Harris, the favourite for the race, picks up another win.
Let's get some reaction with Chris Harris and Charlie.
Yeah, thank you. Chris, 1 minute it's Scott Nicholls, then it's Craig Cook battling with you.
Yeah, I've had 2 good battles, really. 2 that I didn't want, but it's made good racing, but we're just going to make a few changes to the bike, just not got enough straight line speed out there.
Did it psychologically affect you because Scott Nicholls got one over you? Because that's what Calvin was maybe saying in the commentary box.
Nah. It's no good winning this heat and not winning the final, is it? So we'll make sure we make that final, and I'll make sure I get it back.
And what changes are being made to your bike? We can see your mechanics next to you really going for it now.
I might just make some change to the carb and see if that works.
Fighting talk there a little bit earlier with you and Scott Nicholls. You head in the right place tonight?
Yeah, heads are definitely in that right place. He's got something I want.
What's that?
My trophy.
Hey, there you go.
Yeah, Chris Harris
Good
well
stuff.
and truly up for it,
Yeah.
and determined.
They've taken it down about the psychological blow, but you just saw the performance. Actions speak louder than words. It was the race of the night so
a Grand
far.
Prix race,
It was
that
a
one.
Grand Prix race, and both riders were desperate to win it. Nicholls won it, and without question in my mind, I'm sure that Harris will be thinking, he's going to be a tough customer tonight.
I reckon, Kelv, the first turn in the final will be well worth watching.
Could be a rerun, mate.
Another one. Heat number 10, Joe Haines goes off the inside. In red, the Sheffield Tiger. Tai Woffinden goes off gate 2 in blue. Leigh Lanham gate 3 in white. Eddie Kennett, unbeaten so far. He goes off the outside in yellow. Woffinden and Kennett here, 2 and 4, strongly fancied to go all the way to the final.
Yeah, we saw Harris come out of gate 2 in the previous race, so there's plenty of grip there. Gate 4 has been difficult. It's slicker out there than than normal. Got to say that riders are just finding it a touch difficult to get the bike set up perfect. But it'll be interesting. Leigh Lanham, he's involved, settling down.
Heat number 10 it is then, and away from the start. It's a great start from the outside here for Edward Kennett. And now coming around, Leigh Lanham in white, and the second place man now is Tai Woffinden in the blue helmet colour. But the lead is with Eddie Kennett. He is looking in commanding form tonight, and could he be on the verge of making it 3 wins out of 3? Woffinden will charge hard, and Lanham is charging after Woffinden for second place here.
Eddie Kennett out in front, sharp away from the outside, roared across the 3 other riders as in front. Woffinden made a nightmare start from gate 2, but has hustled his way into second place and is now beginning to chase down Kennett. But Kennett, you know, he loves it round here, he loves riding tight, and he's doing well successfully. But Tai Woffinden not showing as much speed as he did before.
Well, amazingly, Eddie Kennett, not one of the favourites for this meeting.
Oh,
He has
Joe
been in
Haynes'
good form,
bike
Joe
has
Haynes,
just literally exploded in front of us in a cloud of smoke. But Eddie Kennett, he picks up the win.
Yeah, good ride from Eddie Kennett. 3 rides, 3 wins. Not one of the pre-meeting favourites, as I said there, because he has been on a pretty poor run of form for Coventry. But for Joe Haynes, smoke bellowing from his engine down the back straight there.
I suggest he's got a bill coming, because that looked pretty dramatic. I think it was a major engine failure.
Just to confirm as well, Robert Mear has withdrawn from the meeting now, which is perfectly understandable. I think we'll let him off after that crash.
That's very generous of you, Nigel.
Yeah, heat number 10, Edward Kennett the race winner, Tai Woffinden second, Leigh Lanham was third, and Joe Haynes retired with mechanical gremlins there. Taking shape nicely now, the British final. We're halfway through the qualifying races. Edward Kennett, 9 points out of 9, but remember, it all boils down to the grand final. It's all on 60 seconds of racing. Harris is on 8. They're in the top 2 right now, and Kennett looking absolutely superb. Top 2 into the final, and the next 4 into the race-off.
Yeah, Tai Woffinden out of gate 2 just spins up there, got no drive to the first corner at all. It's all about Eddie Kennett. He comes charging out of gate 4. The gate stats suggested that that was going to be a tough call, but he makes light of that. He comes there, he's comfortably in the front and dominates the race, and he's dominating this meeting so far. Good stuff then. Tai Woffinden, after a poor start, does well to get into second place, but he can do nothing about Eddie Kennett out in front. Joe Haynes has an awful time out the back and has a major engine failure, but Eddie Kennett, 9 points to his name. So you can't do better than that.
Leigh Lanham scored 3 points, but he's been in good scoring positions, and
well, he's holding his end up, isn't he?
Yeah.
A last-minute replacement, of course, for Oliver Allen, and he scored in every race. He'll probably need to pick up at least 5 points from his last 2 to give himself a chance of a semi-final.
Adam Roynon, the man in the white helmet colour here, going off gate number 3. It's a big lineup. Nicholls, Barker, Roynon and Ashworth. Roynon fancied for a place in the race-off here tonight. He's been winning races easily in the National League. A lot of talk about whether he's should actually be allowed to ride in the National League, because he's quite he's too good for that standard at the moment, really.
Well, you know my views on that matter, Nigel, don't you?
Absolutely.
So I think that he's a rider that's riding in 3 leagues. He's making up for lost time, because he's had so many injuries in the past, and I've got to say that I've always feared him for that, but he is a talent, no question.
Heat number 11, Nicholls off the inside in red. Gate 2 in blue is Ben Barker. Roynon off gate number 3, who does say the National League has helped rebuild his confidence and get him to where he is now. And off the outside in yellow is Ricky Ashworth.
Yeah, well, you would say that, of course, because he rides for you, Nigel, and of course he's piling in the points for the Dudley Heathens, but you may well be right, but that man certainly had to be boosting his confidence They're enjoying themselves here at Monmore Green tonight.
Berwick Bandits fans,
yeah,
they've come a long way.
Well, Ricky Ashworth had a couple of decent rides so far, didn't score last time, but certainly was sharp away from the tapes. He's coming from gate 4 now. This time the Berwick Bandits will be shouting their man on.
Heat number 11 of the British final from Wolverhampton here at Monmore Green Stadium, and Nicholls hasn't made the start. Coming around the outside yet again, Ricky Ashworth, the Berwick Bandits man in yellow. Second place in red is Scott Nicholls now, and third in blue is Ben Barker. It's Nicholls against Ashworth. Ricky Ashworth has that lead. Nicholls second, and Ashworth is going to have it all on, because Nicholls is going to hunt him down every step of the way here now.
Yeah, you just sense that Nicholls is there, ready to pounce. Ashworth had made a good start. Nicholls goes wide. Got to say, Roynon's gone down out the back. Will he get off the track? Yes, he does. The race will continue. Ashworth still out in front. Nicholls now up the inside. Does he get there? Yes, he does. Charges up the inside. Runs wide.
Here comes Ashworth again.
Oh, slams the door shut as they go into the last lap.
What a race this is, and Scott Nicholls again in the thick of the action. Nicholls is working overtime for his points. Barker now is coming around the outside of Ashworth in a battle for second place. Oh, what a great race that was.
Super race there. Ricky Ashworth made the wrong decision on the last lap and gets out-battled. He could have picked up more points there, and you can see from his body language going down the back straight, he's hugely frustrated. Nicholls had to work hard. Ben Barker gets him. Yeah, he just runs out of steam. He ran round the inside there and just got out-battled. He deserved more points than that. But Nicholls there, bided his time, and he bounced back. But 1 or 2 riders there. Ashworth, sharp away from the tapes, made him work really hard.
Absolutely right. Ashworth has made some good starts tonight, but has been passed and really should have scored more points than he has.
Yes.
Nicholls the winner with Ben Barker second. Ashworth was third. Roynon fell and didn't complete the race. And we've had 11 races now of this British final here at Monmore Green. Edward Kennett leads, 9 points so far. Chris Harris is on 8. Nicholls now on 7 with Barker and Woffinden. Craig Cook is on 6 points, still in the top 6 just about. Well, good speedway again. This meeting is really coming to life now.
Yeah,
Phil.
finally we're getting some super speedway. It was a slow start. Ashworth from the outside, roars around in the dirt, looked fantastic for about 2.5 laps, and then he made some poor decisions and he sees himself relegated back to 3rd place. Nicholls rides a stormer, steams up the inside, runs wide. I thought for a moment Ashworth was going to be able to get back up the inside, but Nicholls slams the door shut. And unfortunately for Ashworth, he runs a little bit too narrow and conservative on the last corner, and that allows Ben Barker round the outside. And on the run to the line, Barker steals 2nd place away. We're seeing the head-on view now. Nicholls gets the win, and Barker gets 2nd place, and Ashworth is frustrated, back in 3rd place.
Let's get some reaction from Scott with Charlie.
Yeah, Scott, great win there, but how hard are you having to work for every single point?
It's hard, isn't it? It's been so much easier to make the start, but yeah, I'm happy I got the win. But it's good for British Speedway that there's some talent out there mixing it up.
How tough is it out there?
It's tough, you can see. The track is nice, but if you miss a start, it's difficult to pass, and got to keep your wits about you. Everybody's pushing for the points, so it means a lot to everybody. So it's not easy. So I just got to keep focused and do what I can to be in Heat 22, and that's the one to win.
Thanks, Scott.
Thank you.
Livening up nicely, good performance from Scott Nicholls, working hard for his points. Simon Stead here in white, the man who rides for the Swindon Robins, has a testimonial coming up on August the 16th at the Abbey Stadium, and he's looking forward to a big night there. Sure, he'll get a good turnout. Popular rider Simon Stead always gives 100%.
Indeed he is, and fully deserves to get his testimonial. Can't believe he's been around that long, but he must have been. But, hoping for Josh Auty here. Expectation was high coming into this meeting. It's been disappointing so far.
Yeah, let's see if he can actually get on the scoreboard here now. Josh Auty, a great talent from West Yorkshire. He's off the inside in red. Gate 2 in blue, Richard Lawson, who hasn't had the best of nights either. No. Simon Stead off gate 3 in white, and Tom Perry, the track reserve tonight. He replaces Danny King, who has withdrawn from the meeting and is actually seeing the Birmingham club physio down in the pits area as we speak. So
in second hand, I would think that was a tough gate stats. Here we go, gate 3, terrific. Simon Stead, the red hot favourite here. Tom Perry out there, possibly a little bit out of his depth, but I'm sure he'll be giving it everything he can. Got to say that Josh Auty and Richard Lawson have had disastrous starts to their meetings tonight. They'll just be pleased to get on the score chart. Josh Auty fans there, they'll be key for him to pick up some points now for sure.
Heat number 12 is coming up here then. The green light is on and away from the start. Simon Stead, gate number 3, looks across as Lawson takes the lead. Stead looked across cleverly there and has got the lead down the back straight now, the Swindon Robins man. Second in blue is Richard Lawson. Josh Auty is now going to charge hard to try and get the better of Tom Perry. Perry hanging on for third, but it's all very close, and he nearly came off there.
He has come off.
He has come off now.
Yeah, out of shot. I tell you what, there was no room there. And Tom Perry has slipped off his motorbike. He now picks it up and he's off the track. Fortunately, no damage done. Out in front, Simon Stead is looking good. He charged out of gate 3. Josh Auty this time is amongst the points. Richard Lawson is tailed off in third place, but Simon Stead, I'll tell you what, if he picks up 3 points here, useful, very useful 3 points, he's having a good British final night.
Yeah, beyond to 7 points, Simon Stead, on a track that isn't his favourite by his own admission, but he's looking very smooth and very stylish here now. Simon Stead, one Yorkshireman beating another Yorkshireman, Josh Auty. Stead takes the checkered flag. 3 points for him. Of course, we have seen Simon riding in the World Cup for Great Britain. He's out of contention at the moment of the World Cup squad, but we have seen him ride for Team Great Britain, of course, and he's moved on to 7 points as well now. So, good ride from Simon Stead. Worked hard there to get his 3 points on the board. Won it comfortably in the end. And the result of heat number 12. Well, Simon Stead won the race.
Yeah, that's the wrong way round.
Josh Auty was second. Richard Lawson was third. Just to clarify, Simon Stead the race winner, with Josh Auty second there. So 3 points for Simon Stead, 2 for Josh Auty, and 1 for Richard Lawson. Tom Perry didn't complete the race, slid off on the third turn, and is walking back to the pits area now. So, just to confirm then, Simon Stead the race winner. That's more like it.
Yep.
Second place, Josh Auty, and third was Richard Lawson. Tom Perry, as we say, fell and therefore failed to score. Tom Perry,
Good
the
stuff
track
from
reserve.
Simon Stead out in front. 7 points to his name after his third ride. Kennett out in front on 9, of course, closely challenged by Harris, but the British Championship now is really beginning to warm up, Nigel. Got to say, it's competitive as ever. We see the replay of this race again. Simon Stead was a red-hot favourite. He was out in front, comfortably out in front. And it was a really close moment as they started the second lap, as they came into the first corner. Got to say, Tom Perry finally actually slipped off his bike, and I'm not quite sure how they all stayed up, to be honest. But Simon Stead, a nice winner out in front.
Look how close that got at the back.
Yeah, that's where it's all close. And Tom Perry, I think the footrest actually is broken. He clouts the fence, he gets a nudge on the inside from Auty, and then slams against the kickboard on the outside of the track, and he slips off the motorbike.
No wonder he didn't look too
Well, he had
happy
no
about
footrest, did he? The footrest is gone, so nothing to stand on.
Exactly. So, dramatic shots then, 12 races gone, 8 to go in the race for the British final race-off and the final itself. The top 6, of course, is what it's all about. Top 2 go straight through to the final. The next 4 into the race-off. We've had 12 heats here at Wolverhampton. The British final continues when we come back. Welcome back to Wolverhampton, the Monmouth Green Stadium. It's the 2012 British Speedway Final. Not only is the national title available tonight, but a place as the wild card at the Millennium Stadium Cardiff and the British GP on the line. This is what's happened so far. The top 2 go straight through to the race-off for the title tonight, the final itself. Then the semi-final, just one semi-final, is for the next 4. So it's all about getting into the top 6 tonight after 20 races. We've had 12 of the heats tonight as well. And they're getting straight back on with the action, because there has been 1 or 2 delays here tonight with unsatisfactory starts and 1 or 2 crashes as well that have occurred tonight. But the riders really having a go and getting stuck in. Now, heat number 13, both Robert Mear and Danny King have withdrawn from the meeting. And Tom Perry will go in yellow here as a replacement for Robert Mear. So with only 1 track reserved tonight, it means that we are only going to have 3 riders in this race.
Yes, Lewis Bridger, of course, was originally meant to be here. We've got Joe Haines in for him, and we've got Tom Perry coming in now for Robert Mear, where you can understand why he's not out there. That was a nasty incident he was involved in earlier. Got to say, Tom Perry there was a bit unfortunate. He just got his bike slammed up against the fence coming into turn 1.
Didn't look very happy, Kelv.
No, he was clouted hard, and it ripped his footrest off, and that's why he slipped off. So could have been worse that. But got to say that Ricky Ashworth is here out of gate 3. And if he had just ridden a little bit better late on in his races, he would have picked up a lot more points. But I would suggest he must be looking at a race win here now.
Yeah, he's got to be favourite for this race now, Ricky Ashworth.
Yeah, the way he's been getting off the start, absolutely.
Well, Joe Haines in blue in Wolverhampton colours there, because he is actually a Wolverhampton asset, but he's on loan to Sheffield Tigers this year. No rider off the inside then. Danny King out of the meeting injured with rib injuries, and we wish him well. Joe Haines goes off gate number 2 in blue. Ricky Ashworth gate 3 in white. Must emphasise that Birmingham is his elite league club, but he's mainly riding for Berwick these days. Tom Perry off the outside in yellow. It's confusing when you talk about riders doubling up. You do lose track of who rides for who sometimes.
Yeah, absolutely, and it's difficult to know which is their main club, you know, but I would suggest with Ricky Ashworth, it's, you know, it's Berwick, isn't it?
Definitely Berwick, yeah,
got to be Berwick.
full time, doubles up with Birmingham, although yet to do so, but he's made a good start to this race here, and it's Ricky Ashworth who has the lead. Tom Perry coming hard around the outside in yellow, but Joe Haines holds that second place. It's very tight between the two youngsters. Perry holds second place now, Joe Haines is third. The lead though, Ricky Ashworth, Tom Perry second, and Joe Haines is third right now.
And Tom Perry is enjoying a much better ride this time. He's putting Ricky Ashworth under a bit of pressure. Once again, Ashworth sharp away from the tapes and enjoying a good ride out in front. Just needs to keep his concentration going now, because he's in the box seat and he should be able to pick up the 3 points. Pleased for Perry. He was disappointed last time to have had that incident, but he's looking good in second place, and Joe Haines back in third. But Ricky Ashworth fully deserves a race win now.
Ricky Ashworth, a former grass track rider, and Perry in second place is still a grass track rider and rides regularly on the continent.
Yeah.
Tom Perry is a grass tracker, but Ricky Ashworth kicks on. We said he was the favourite for the race, and he's got 3 valuable points in the bag there, and he has an outside chance with a win in his last ride,
yes,
that he may just sneak in to the race-off here for a place in the final. He's got Woffinden, Cook and Lawson. He's out again in heat number 20, so he's got quite a weight, Ricky Ashworth. But 3 points for the likeable Mancunian there in heat number 13. Berwick Bandits fans delighted. The flag is waving from Berwick. Great to see them down here in the West Midlands tonight, the Berwick Bandits supporters. And a fine win there for Ricky Ashworth. 3 points to his name.
Good rider.
Yep.
Good guy, and genuine guy, and got to say that he'll be delighted to have picked up the 3 points in that one.
Yep, Ricky Ashworth, who was a fine servant to Sheffield during his time at Overton. Tom Perry second, Joe Haines was third, and Danny King at the back. So Tom Perry's first points of the night as the track reserve tonight. Remember, King and Mear have withdrawn from the meeting. Ashworth moving on to 6 points into 8th place in the meeting now. Top 6 is where you need to be, but top 2 straight through to the final. That's why riders like Kennett, Harris, Nicholls, they are going for it. Reaction comes from Chris Louis.
Thanks, Nigel. Yeah, Ricky's just come back in. Ricky, kind of a frustrating night for you. I mean, you're riding so well, you're making great starts. You've had a couple of great scraps with Chris Harris and Scott Nicholls. Nice to get a race win under your belt.
It was, yeah. I was pretty surprised when I was sat there at the tapes and there was only 3 of us, but yeah, I've been making the best starts I've been making all season, but I'm just struggling. I've not had much time around this track, and it's catching me out in the corners a little bit. I can't ride where I want to ride, but I just let the bike go in that one and let it do the work. So I'm happy to get a win. I feel like I deserve it the way I've been making starts.
It's quite understandable that you could be struggling with this track, though. Berwick and Wolverhampton worlds apart, aren't they? But you've got plenty of fans here from Berwick tonight.
Yeah, they are 2 completely different tracks. You know, Berwick's big, really fast and gripping. I love them kind of circuits, but this is one of the smallest. It's a really technical track. You know, it's great to see some Berwick fans here. They've been on tour with us the last few days, down at Ipswich and Scunthorpe and Leicester, and it was great we could get a couple of points for them on the road, and to see them here tonight giving me some support, it's great.
Great stuff. Well done, Ricky.
Thanks.
Yeah, it is great to see. And by the way, the Berwick track is actually around the Berwick Rangers football pitch at Shieldfield Park. So
I rode there. It's quite a challenge, big fast track, and it's one that clearly Ricky Ashworth is enjoying. Edward Kennett out here, coming out of gate 1, unbeaten so far. 3 out of 3 for him. Can he keep it going? It'll be quite a tussle between him and Scott Nicholls. Looking forward to it.
Yeah, big race lined up here then. Heat number 14 of the British final. and the battle is on for a place in the top 6, which will give you a chance of winning the meeting. It all boils down to one race tonight, though, the grand final. Eddie Kennett, maximum man so far, inside in red. Gate 2 is Josh Auty in blue from the Birmingham Brummies and Scunthorpe. Gate 3 in white is Scott Nicholls of the Coventry Bees, and Craig Cook of Bellevue in the Elite League, Edinburgh Monarchs in the Premier League as well. This is Heat 14, and yes, you would say look out for Kennett and Nicholls, but Auty and Cook, the youngsters, they'll be giving it everything as well.
Yeah, last couple of rides from Nicholls have been top class, particularly Heat 8 against Harris, where he rode a stormer. I do sense that he's beginning to find his feet now. He's made the tweak to the motorbike, and he has got the key to the start. Edward Kennett has been terrific so far. He's had a poor season, I would suggest, by his own high standards, but tonight he's been great. A couple of race wins out of the inside. Look at that, Gate 3. Really is the terrific start. 7 race wins out of there, that's terrific. Looking forward to it, here we go.
Yeah, fancy his chances here. This is seat number 14. That's a poor start from Josh Auty. At the inside now is Edward Kennett in red. And now Scott Nicholls in white is going to have a go around the outside of this turn 3 and 4. Watch him go. He'll try the high line around the outside. Has he done enough to get around the outside of Edward Kennett? Yes, he has. Smart move. Kennett second. Craig Cook's coming around now as well. What a ride from Craig Cook. Kennett back up the inside. Super speedway here.
Kennett up the inside as they go into turns 3 and 4. Nicholls is now back up the inside. Charges up the inside. Front wheel over the curb. Slams into the lead. Unbelievable speedway from Nicholls on the back wheel down the back straight. He wants this national title, Nige. Here comes Kennett round the outside. What a speedway race this is. This is what the British Championship's all about.
And Kennett's not given up yet. Kennett is going to have one big go in the latter stages of the race. Nicholls holds the line. Battle for third as well with Cook and Edward Kennett. That was sensational speedway.
Proper speedway. Absolutely out of the top draw. Nicholls and Kennett, teammates of course, ride for Coventry. I tell you what, no love lost there. Clean, fair race. Proper speedway. Really enjoyed it. We fancied it was going to be something special. Lived up to the expectation.
Well, I don't know about you, but Scott Nicholls looks like he is desperate for this national title.
He wants it big
desperate
time.
For a place at Cardiff. And this is the end of the race. All 4 riders involved in a real battle in the latter stages of this race.
Well, it was terrific stuff. We got chopping and changing. Craig Cook there back in 3rd place. He was having a stormer as well, but you know, Scotty Nicholls really wants it. The hunger in him there, the body language on the bike, he wasn't going to be denied.
Great speedway, Scott Nicholls, the winner. Eddie Kennett is beaten for the first time tonight. Craig Cook was 3rd. Josh Auty at the back. 14 races gone now here at the Monmouth Green Stadium, Wolverhampton. Kennett 11, Nicholls 10. They are in the top 2 right now as things stand, heading straight through to the final with the next 4 in a race-off. But there's still 6 heats to go of the qualifiers. Lots of points up for grabs and more great speedway like this, no doubt.
Yeah, initially it was Kennett off the inside. He rides right round the inside on the first corner and he gets himself down the back straight and gets to the front. But then Nicholls responds. He comes charging out of turn 4 and slams the door shut going into the first corner. But you've got to say that Kennett rides a stormer, and then Craig Cook's involved as well, and he very nearly got himself well and truly amongst the points. Right around the outside here, look at the speed he gets slammed out of it, and then Kennett comes back to him. Kennett round the outside now. Look at this move from Scott Nicholls, front wheel on the grass. He gets back into the front. It was a smashing race to watch and commentate on, and a masterclass from Nicholls to steal the win away from Kennett. Great stuff.
And Scott Nicholls is with Charlie.
Yeah, thank you. I've got Scott down here with me. Scott, you're keeping everybody really on the edge of your seats there completely. How is your performance out there? You know, does it making you really sort of push on?
Oh yeah, I mean it's a race like that and we ain't even to the final yet. So yeah, I mean I had a bad first ride, so I really want to put as many points in the bag as I can, and yeah, I mean it shows there's a lot of British boys up for the challenge. Eddie's riding fantastic, and there's a lot of other good boys riding good. So I keep saying it comes down to the last heat, and it's about getting things right for there. So, but it's certainly tough.
I suppose it shows how much you really want it as well. You're really battling.
It does, kind of disappointing first race, and feel good, but it's everybody's quick tonight, so it's going to be a good meeting, that's for sure.
Thanks, Scott.
Thank you.
Well, that grand final coming up in around 40 minutes time or so is going to be worth watching.
Yeah.
You can be sure of that. Heat 15, Harris off the inside in red. Adam Roynon goes off gate number 2 in blue. Gate 3 in white is Simon Stead, and Tai Woffinden goes off the outside, and Woffinden, one of the pre-meeting favourites, has still got a bit of work to do to book his place in the top 6 here.
Yeah, last year he went through the card, and so far this year he's dropped a couple of points, and he's going to have to keep on get back to winning ways if he wants to go through as one of the top 2 point scorers. He's obviously a good chance of making the top 6. Pre-meeting favourite, of course, alongside Harris. Simon Stead has had a good meeting so far. He comes out of the best start gate, out of gate 3. Harris on the inside, another good lineup.
Yeah, good lineup indeed. This is heat number 15 of the British final here at Wolverhampton. And Adam Roynon's made a good start off gate 2 in blue. Who would have predicted that? Adam Roynon with the lead, but now Woffinden makes light work of going around the outside in the yellow helmet. Second place is Adam Roynon, who locks up there. Simon Stead is third. Chris Harris is the man in red, and he's going to have to hunt them down here now. Harris is going to go wide into the dirt, surely to try and get round Stead, and he's going to pick him off superbly here now. Harris holds third, and he's going to go after Roynon.
Packed up! Another engine failure going into turn 3 on the second lap. Woffenden's out in front. Good ride from Adam Roynon, who settles in second place. Goes wide though. Can Stead pounce?
Roynon's packed up.
Oh, once again, how many? Oh, whatever's gone on with Harris, he's going again. He's going to pick up a point. Incredible stuff. Got to say, you've got to feel for Adam Roynon. Bike completely packed up. Maybe the fuel wasn't turned on, Nigel.
Well, really amazing stuff here. Harris has got going again. Tai Woffinden takes the checkered flag. And 2 more points for Simon Stead will do him quite nicely. And Harris comes round for a point because Roynon packed up down the back straight.
Well, I can only thought it looked like an engine failure for Chris Harris as he went into turn 3 on the second lap. But you just wonder whether the kill switch came away or the fuel was turned off. Something wasn't right because he fixed the problem and he was managed to pick up a point. Touch fortunate. 2 good points for Simon Stead. He's having a great British Championship. Adam Roynon had a bike failure down the back straight.
He's going to have a lift back.
Yeah, why not? Absolutely. It's a good, nice little lift back to the paddock, but got to say, Chris Harris is finding it tough out there.
Well, Tai Woffinden, the race winner. We overshadowed all that, didn't we? Woffinden winning the race. Simon Stead was second there. Third was Chris Harris after packing up and seemingly being out of the race.
Yeah.
He got going again and gets a valuable point to his name. And this is what it means. Woffinden joins Scott Nicholls on 10 points now. That point for Harris moves him on to 9 and keeps him comfortably in the top 6 right now.
Could be vital on the end.
Yeah,
absolutely. He was a touch fortunate. Didn't quite see what happened, but the bike just abruptly stops. Adam Roynon there, he doesn't quite know what it is. Oh, it's the HT lead. Mate, don't do that. You're going to get a real good...
The what lead?
The HT lead.
What's that?
High tension lead.
All right.
Goes to the spark plug, makes it go. He's come away from the spark plug and he's just lost all his power.
Wow.
Phil Morris there looking at it. They're all having a bit of a giggle about that because I can assure you that really does give you quite a jolt as it runs up your arm. But I didn't quite see what happened to Chris Harris there, but certainly he'll be pleased to have recovered and picked up a vital point.
Well, the technicalities of Speedway perfectly explained by Kelvin there.
Well, I'm not an electrician, but what I do know is there's plenty of electricity flying around when your HT's flapping around by the engine.
Okay. Heat number 16 is coming up, and after this race, every rider, apart from the guys that have withdrawn with injury, Robert Mear and Danny King, will have completed 4 rides. And we'll have 4 more qualifying heats to establish who will be in the race-off and the grand final. Ben Barker goes off the inside in red for Birmingham. Stuart Robson goes off gate 2 from Lakeside. Gate 3 is Richard Lawson in the white helmet colour, and off the outside Leigh Lanham in yellow. Our graphics show their Elite League club where it applies, but these boys as well featuring very prominently in the Premier League.
Lanham, of course, his primary club is Ipswich, and he's been doing pretty decent for them recently. Ben Barker, of course, he doubles up, but Birmingham, you would suggest, is his #1 club. Stuart Robson rides for the Newcastle and Lakeside. Most of the time he's riding for Newcastle, but he's had a pretty good night tonight so far. Got to say, Stuart Robson, wouldn't surprise me if he could pick up second place here. For me, Ben Barker's got to be the favourite on the inside gate.
I know the Newcastle promoter George English has travelled down to support his man tonight, and it's a good start from Barker off the inside in the red helmet colour, and charging hard is Leigh Lanham in yellow. There's a battle for second, third and fourth at the back of the race here down the back straight, but Ben Barker looking good here in the red helmet. He would love a place at Cardiff. He'd love to be British champion. The man who rides for Plymouth Devils in the Premier League and Birmingham in the Elite League as well. Looks to have this race under control. From Leigh Lanham in second place, Stuart Robson having a go, and Richard Lawson trailing at the back.
Yeah, Ben Barker out in front, made a good start. Not really getting away. Got to say that Leigh Lanham's right there, chasing hard after him and is keeping him very honest. Stuart Robson settles in third place with Lawson out the back, but you've got to say Leigh Lanham's got plenty of pace in second place. Ben Barker with about half a lap to go. Got to keep his head down.
Yeah, Leigh Lanham's got stuck in tonight, no doubt about that, but Ben Barker here on his way to 3 more points that have put him in double figures, and the race for the final itself and the top 2 automatic spots is gathering momentum quite nicely now.
Yeah.
16 heats completed now, and we've got 4 races now to decide who goes straight through to the final and who has to settle for a place in the semi-final.
Could be a spoiler, Ben Barker tonight. He was charging away out in front. Got to say that he's not shy, he's full of confidence, and he won't be frightened to get involved. So, yeah, keep an eye out for him later on in the night, but useful 3 points, building his total.
It's number 16, Ben Barker wins the race. Second place, Leigh Lanham. Third was Stuart Robson. Richard Lawson trailed in last there. Those 3 points for Ben Barker have propelled him up into the upper reaches of the meeting, and we've got 3 riders now on 10 points apiece. Nicholls, Woffinden and Barker all on 10. Chris Harris and Simon Stead on 9. So the top 6 at the moment is clear cut, but it's all about the top 2. The riders are desperate to get into the top 2 to go straight into the final.
Yeah, good start from the inside from Ben Barker, then creeps right round the inside and charges down the back straight. See it again. Nice textbook stuff from him, nothing too dramatic, keeps the bike under control and then just roars down the back straight. Stuart Robson there, right up the inside, follows him through, but got to say, Ben Barker chased hard by Leigh Lanham, but he'll be delighted with the 3 points for sure.
Good ride from Ben Barker then. He wins that one and moves into double figures. Looking good for a place in the business end of tonight's British final.
Too right.
16 races gone, crowd enjoying it. They know that whatever happens tonight, we're going to have a last heat decider for the British title and a place at Cardiff for the wild card. Heat number 17 is coming up after this break. Welcome back to Monmouth Green Stadium, Wolverhampton. It's the 2012 British Speedway Final, and we really are down to the business end of the event right now. 16 of the 20 qualifying races. The top 2 now go through to the final, but it's still to be decided in this batch of last 4 heats. Kennett and Nicholls right now in those positions. Woffinden, Barker, Harris and Stead are the other 4 riders that would race off a one-off semi-final.
Exactly, and Nicholls comes out now, and you've got to say that he's got a very good chance of being one of those top 2. He's battled back really well after a disappointing opening ride, and he has, well, for me, heat 17 with Perry on the inside replacing Mear, and Lanham and Stead. I sense that he's the favourite here. He must have a very good chance.
Yep, so Scott Nicholls on 10 points, a win here surely would give him a great chance of getting through to the final, because actually
13,
he'll have 4 race wins, and even if it's a count back, you know, those 4 race wins would take him into the final.
Yeah, and he's worked well. That's a good bounce back after a poor opening ride. Really has looked full of confidence and certainly highly motivated. Leigh Lanham was good last time. Simon Stead has been a surprise package. He's enjoyed a great night of Speedway so far, and I've got to say, he will be involved later stages. We could see him as a bit of an outsider for the final.
Anything can happen in the final. Watch out for the first turn. That's
Cool.
all I'm saying.
Yeah, looking forward to it.
Yeah, heat 17. Tom Perry. He goes off the inside in red as a replacement for the injured Robert Mear. Scott Nicholls goes off gate 2 in blue. Leigh Lanham is off 3 in white. Who's ridden well tonight, Leigh Lanham, deserves more than his 5 points. And Simon Stead on 9 is off the outside in yellow.
Yeah, Simon Stead, I think conditions have just come to him. It's a slick track coming into the corners and he's been able to come in and really wind the throttle on. When it's a bit grippier and a bit more tricky, he does find it tough going out there. Leigh Lanham looked fast last time. I mean, that certainly kept Ben Barker honest, didn't he, out in front. Scott Nicholls has been involved in some super action tonight. You know, there's been that race earlier on, Heat 8, I think it was, where he actually had that dust up with Chris Harris and roared round the outside to land a blow early on in the meeting, and from that moment on, he looks like he's been in complete control.
Heat number 17 it is then of the 2012 British final here at Wolverhampton, and Scott Nicholls didn't make the best of starts but made it up into that first turn superbly. Oh! Now a collision on the apex of the first and second turn. Simon Stead and Tom Perry. And Tom Perry landed awkwardly there, it has to be said. It was a nasty tumble, and Simon Stead did go into the back of Tom Perry, who's landed awkwardly on the apex of that first and second turn, but it looks like he's getting up.
Often see it here, don't we? You know, it's a tight turn. It's, you know, the bikes are really not going that quick, you know. Nicholls is in at the first corner. Simon Stead decides to go, yeah, it was an initially, yeah. Well, Tom Perry made half a mistake there and loses all his momentum, and Simon Stead has had a sneaky look to the left and decides to chop back to the inside there. He almost grinds to a halt, Tom Perry. Simon Stead's got nowhere to go.
Simon's tried to get off the bike.
Oh,
there.
he has. He's got absolutely no look. Tom Perry's literally come to a stop, and a bit of contact between the two boys shoves him off the bike.
So
it's his mistake initially. He's overlocked, hasn't he?
He's excluded as well.
Yeah, and that's not a surprise.
So Tom Perry disqualified from the restart of heat number 17, but good to see that he's up and about, walking back to the pits area.
Well, he won't have long to wait because he's out in the next one. Yeah, so he'll be disappointed with that. But
they've got to get the bike fixed first, Kelv.
Well, he'll have a spare, won't he? You know, the sort of wages you pay him, I'm sure he can afford a spare bike. So
yeah,
no, it was disappointment, but Nicholls certainly looked like he had it in the bag. Simon Stead again, an opportunity to get plenty of points here. He's enjoying a great night.
So the restart of heat 17, 3 riders only. That's the damage to Tom Perry's bike that we see being wheeled back to the pits area. Hopefully he can get ready for heat 18 because he's in that one as well. And we have 3 riders only for the restart then of this one. Simon Stead with an opportunity as Tom Perry, who, as we say, rides for the Somerset Rebels as well as the Heathens here at Wolverhampton. And he's come on in leaps and bounds, riding for Somerset this year, Kelvin.
Yeah.
Has brought him on superbly.
Yes, I think, you know, going up the division has clearly paid big dividends. And Somerset is a terrific track. We've been there on several occasions to cover meetings, and it's, yeah, he looks more confident and is going great guns.
Had a winter trip to Australia as well, Tom Perry, which helped improve his gating as well. We'll see him again in heat 18.
I thought you were going to say he improved his 10.
Probably that as well.
Yeah.
Heat 17, 3 riders only then. So Scott Nicholls here in blue, Leigh Lanham in white, and Simon Stead will go in yellow.
Yeah.
No arguments about the decision there, Kelvin. A fair decision from Graham
It
Flint.
was, yes, because he's just come into the corner and he's just desperately trying to get back to the inside, but he just overcooks it and the bike almost comes to a halt. And Simon Stead, who hadn't made a good start from the outside, had looked to the left and had made his mind up to turn to the inside, but you see it now. Simon Stead will look to the left, yeah, and he knows he's going to go to the inside. And Tom Perry there, look, he's almost grinding to a halt, and Simon Stead's got nowhere to go and just can't avoid him. He's actually trying to put the bike down. Yeah, you know, it's unfortunate. It's unfortunate, but Tom Perry there, he's just not being able to really control the bike, and the bike is almost coming to a stop, and he's just helped off the bike by the collision, but unfortunately for him, he's the one to go. Scott Nicholls now on his way back to the tapes. Let's hope we can get this one away safe and sound.
Absolutely right. number 17. Leigh Lanham, the man in the white helmet colour. 3 riders only now. Simon Stead, what can he do here? Because so far now on 9 points, a win here would put him on 12.
Well, it's definitely in the top 6. He's going to get in the semi, isn't he? Even with 2, he's got to have a good chance of getting in the semis tonight. And I think he'll be pleased with that. If he made the final, I think he'd be overjoyed. But, you know, we've seen him in Cardiff as well, isn't he? He's got through the Cardiff before. But, no, there we see there the standings. Obviously, he's under a little bit of pressure, but there is that 2-point gap between Stead and Cook.
That could prove vital in these last 4 heats.
Absolutely.
So, 2-point cushion. And you fancy that Simon Stead will be delighted with a 2nd place here.
Yeah, with 2 points, and almost certainly he'll have another outing.
Get him in there, yep, absolutely. 3 riders only then. No rider on the inside. Tom Perry disqualified. Gate number 2 is Scott Nicholls in blue. Gate 3 in white is Leigh Lanham, and off the outside in yellow, Simon Stead. This is heat number 17 of the British final. 2nd time of asking now. Take prize, and it's a good start from Scott Nicholls in blue. Made a better start that time. Here comes Simon Stead around the outside in yellow into 2nd spot. Has just picked off Leigh Lanham by going high into the dirt. The lead though is with Scott Nicholls. 2nd place is Simon Stead, 3rd Leigh Lanham, and this will be enough for Scott Nicholls to head straight through to the final of the British final, and Simon Stead will book himself a place in the semi-final as well.
Yeah, Nicholls out in front, looking really impressive, charging hard, generating a lot of speed. I've got to say the racing line looks like it's now moved right out wide. Nobody tucking back to the inside. Simon Stead got himself comfortably into 2nd place, but the race once again is all about Nicholls. 13 points, 1 lap to go. As long as he doesn't have a mechanical failure night, he's straight through to the final.
Yeah, tremendous effort from Scott Nicholls. It's going to put him on 13 points with 4 straight wins after that 3rd place in his opening ride. He's laying down a marker as well, isn't he? He's already beaten Chris Harris tonight, and he's got 4 wins on the bounce, and he is looking super quick now.
Yes.
Scott Nicholls, you've got to fancy him as a serious hope for a record-breaking 7th British title tonight.
Right now, he's favourite for me. He's the fastest one out there. And apart from the opening race, heat 2, where he got beaten by Tai Woffinden, I've got to say that he looks the man to beat.
13 points he finishes on here. Nicholls the winner, Simon Stead 2nd, Leigh Lanham 3rd. And Tom Perry didn't finish, of course, he was disqualified. So Nicholls moves on to 13 with 4 straight wins. Kennett on 11, Stead on 11 as well. A good night's work for Simon Stead. He can prepare for the semi-finals now. Top 2 straight through to the British final, and the next 4 in the race-off. The race-off very much on now in the last 3 heats to come.
And Nicholls away from the gate 2 position, comfortable when out in front, looked really fast, moved off the inside line, and then generates plenty of speed around the outside. Simon Stead into 2nd place, he does nicely there, but this is super stuff from Nicholls.
Yeah, good ride from Scott Nicholls. He's looking very stylish and not just quick, but determined as well, Kelvin.
Yeah,
absolutely.
The body language on the bikes tells you everything. You know, he is clearly very determined to pick up his 7th, I repeat, 7th British Championship, which would set a record.
This man wants it back, though. Chris Harris in the yellow helmet colour. He said earlier in an interview that he did, of course, that Scott Nicholls has got something that he wants, and that is the British title.
And he said that, and he seems very determined, but he hasn't got the pace of Nicholls at this stage. Of course, things can change. It's a sudden death shootout, but I've got to say, they're going to need to just make a few tweaks to the motorbike if they want to actually win here tonight, because for me, Nicholls is the man.
Good lineup, this one as well. You've got Barker, Kennett, Harris. You've got the young boy Perry in as well, in white, who we saw disqualified, but probably just a step too far for him this race, Tom Perry. But Barker off the inside, Kennett off 2 in blue, Perry off 3, and Harris off the outside.
Harris off the outside has got to win here. If he has any aspirations of trying to go through in the top 2, still think it's going to be a tough call, because obviously there are riders in front of him. Certainly Kennett's got more points than him. Plenty of chat going on there in Nicholls' camp. Concentration written all over the face of Tai Woffinden. But right now, they know the man to beat is Nicholls. He really has set the standard high tonight. He's been charging hard. 4 wins on the spin, looking great. Edward Kennett got beaten by Nicholls last time, but prior to that he was unbeaten. It's all warming up very nicely, and this is once again really critical times here. Got to say that Kennett, if he were to win, you'd sense that might just be enough for him to go straight through to the final.
Well, yeah, you'd see Nicholls and Kennett into the final as the top 2 automatic qualifiers. Gate positions. And here we go with a good lineup for heat number 18 here in the British final. It's a good start from Ben Barker off the inside in red and now coming hard. Oh, and up the inside here is Kennett. Look at this, how close is that? And Barker's been relegated to 3rd place. Kennett goes wide, and that's going to allow Harris up the inside, and Barker's back in contention as well. What a race!
Fabulous stuff there. Kennett got up the inside, went really wide. Now Ben Barker, charges back up the inside of Edward Kennett. Super stuff from him. Harris is out in front and took advantage of the mistake. Kennett's nearly at the back.
Perry's on the pace.
Yeah, absolutely. Perry round the outside, looking like he could get into 2nd here.
Tom Perry! Tom Perry! Where on earth has he found that from? But now, the big man in 2nd place, Edward Kennett. 3rd place in red is Ben Barker. Perry now still on the pace. The lead is with Harris. It's all clear for him. 2nd place, Edward Kennett. 3rd, Ben Barker. And now Perry's going to have one more go, but it's not quite going to happen for him. And that was a great speedway race.
Super stuff there. Tom Perry took them all by surprise, roared round the outside. And I've got to say that was really exciting stuff. He then went far too wide in the bottom corner. And the experience of Ben Barker and Eddie Kennett, they charged back into 2nd, 3rd. Good stuff there. Got to say that Harris was out in front. A comfortable winner in the end.
Yeah, great speedway heat number 18. Chris Harris, 12 points all told for him now. He can prepare for the semi-final at least. Edward Kennett was 2nd, Ben Barker was 3rd. This is what it means now. Nicholls and Kennett on 13 points right now. And the only man who can catch them is Tai Woffinden in his last race, and then it'll go to a countback. So
yeah, so Harris is going to have to do it the hard way. He's going to have to go through the semi-final. And a man who says he so desperately wants that British crown is going to have to do it hard. It's going to go the hard yards, no question about that. I just sense that he still needs to find a little bit more. He's in deep conversation there with his chief mechanic, Mark Courtney. The tapes are up. He's coming from the outside initially. Ben Barker makes the start from the inside gate. Kennett there on the inside in the blue helmet colour, a little bit out of shape in the first corner. Charging down the back straight initially. Kennett gets up the inside, and what a move that was, but he can't stop the momentum. Runs far too wide down the bottom end, and that allows Harris into the lead. Tom Perry later on in the race charges around the outside. Super stuff from him, but he can't hang on. Runs too wide, such a shame. That allows Kennett and Ben Barker. Kennett finally getting through to 2nd place. Terrific speedway though.
Yeah, great speedway in heat number 18. Tom Perry's really enjoyed the experience here tonight. There are a lot of Heathens fans in the crowd here tonight as well, so he took a lap of honour there. Edward Kennett with the Coventry co-promoter Colin Pratt. Colin Pratt, who's been there and seen it all before.
Been around a while.
Fine rider years ago, and a great servant to British Speedway generally as well. And heat number 19 is coming up. Adam Roynon goes off the inside in the red helmet colour then. Coventry, Workington, Dudley, all his 3 clubs.
Wow.
That he's riding for. A busy man, Adam Roynon, in British Speedway this year, rebuilding his career after shocking injuries. Roynon off the inside. Joe Haines goes off gate number 2 in blue, the Bolton-based rider who rides for Sheffield. Josh Auty, who's had a disappointing night, thought he could have done better. He's off gate 3 in white. And off the outside in yellow, Stuart Robson, who's really got stuck in.
Yeah, Stuart Robson's had a good night. You know, he's been there battling away. You just sense that Josh Auty touched the tapes in his first one. Just may have been a touch nervous coming into the meeting, you know, and he's found it difficult just to relax and strut his stuff out there. Don't think these riders are going to take too much further part in the meeting, but one race to go. I'm sure they'll want to go out on the high. We're on board with Adam Roynon. Packed up last time. We'll be hoping for better this one.
Oh, that was a dodgy start. The red lights are on straight away.
Well dodgy.
Yeah, and the referee, understandable that he's pulled them back straight away. And now Ryder's going back to the pits again. Roynon's going back to the pits here. And the 2 minutes is on straight away.
I don't understand why. It's like a habit, isn't it? And they need somebody there controlling it because it's unnecessary.
Yeah, well, the 2 minutes is on straight away, and the referee can do no more than that, Kelvin, to be fair, to
absolutely
to get them back.
Absolutely, but you just see Joe Haines there, he just takes a chance.
Roynon moved as well, to be fair.
It was a scruffy start.
So understandable that Graham Flint has brought them all back.
Do you know, quite often when you're on on gate 2 there and the rider does that on the inside, you can very nearly charge the tapes, you know, it makes you do it. Can remember Eric Gunderson did that to me once at Cradley. So frustrated. Here he comes. This is the route round the outside of the paddock. We're going now across the Greyhound track, back down the back straight. Super stuff, on board with Adam Roynon. Oh, here's the turn 3 and 4. You can see there, it's a little bit tricky there in the middle of the track. It's a bit patchy. Let's hope for Adam, he doesn't find it too difficult. He's in gate 1, trying to make the start.
So, Adam Roynon finally takes to the grid after 1 or 2 last-minute alterations. Heat number 19 coming up, and Chris Harris, a picture of concentration. What he's listening to there.
I don't know. I suggest that he's clearly trying to focus, trying to pick his game up, because he knows he's in for a tough race. Well, he's got 2 races potentially to go to be British champion if he wants to be British champion tonight. But I just sense right now, right at this stage, Nicholls is the man.
A reminder that Chris Harris is already guaranteed a place at Cardiff for the Grand Prix. He's a Grand Prix rider. The highest placed rider outside or away from Chris Harris will go as the wild card. Heat 19, second time of asking, and it's a good start that time from Josh Auty in white, but Roynon takes the lead early on here. Now coming around is Josh Auty in white, a battle between the 2 youngsters up front, and Josh Auty has the lead now in the white helmet. Adam Roynon is going to hold the inside line here in red. Oh, and coming through in third is Stuart Robson in yellow.
Josh Auty's out of control. Oh my goodness, how on earth did he stay on? He very nearly clipped the fence coming out of turn 4 first time around, and then was all over the place there, and he fortunately stayed upright. Roynon having a great ride out in front. Got to say he's enjoying this now. Robbo's back in 3rd place, Joe Haines out the back, but Adam Roynon beginning to really build his confidence here.
Well, he knows every inch of this track, Adam Roynon, because he's ridden here so many times this season for the Dudley Heathens in the National League, and he's kicking on here. He's piling up the points for Workington in the Premier League. He's doing a great job for Coventry in the Elite as well, under a bit of pressure here from Josh Auty late on. But Adam Roynon wins a race, and there's plenty of Heathens fans in the crowd that are delighted with that.
Absolutely, and rightly so, and Adam Roynon is delighted as well. He's had a tough night, you know, he packed up last time and it got really close there. I've got to say that Josh Auty very nearly clipped the fence early on and then got it all out of shape. The Dudley Heathens there standing, applauding their man. He's going to celebrate with a big wheelie down the start and finish straight. Well, not quite as big as he would have liked. Sort of just didn't quite happen there, but got to say that the fans are chuffed a bit.
Yeah, Heathens fans supporting their team from the old Cradley days. Adam Roynon the winner with Josh Auty second. Stuart Robson was third there, and Joe Haines trailed in at the back. Adam Roynon's British final ends with a victory. He'll be back racing on this track again tomorrow in a big individual meeting. And Roynon finishes on 7 points from 5 rides.
Yeah,
won't make the top 6, but he'll be happy.
Yeah, solid effort.
Yeah. Simon Stead now is with Charlie.
Yeah, thank you. Simon, congratulations. You're through to the race-off. You sort of quietly snuck through. We haven't really spoken to you yet. Have you sort of exceeded your expectations tonight?
I didn't really set myself any, to be honest, Charlie. It was just sort of come and try and enjoy myself, treat it as a normal meeting. And like you said, I've just gone through the motions, really. You know, I've probably picked up a couple of lucky points, but you've got to be there to take them. So,
because the pressure's been off, has that helped you? Because we know that this is not really your favourite track.
Yeah, like I said, it's the British final, so there's always going to be an element of pressure to it. So I just wanted to try and treat it as a normal meeting. We've gone through the qualifying races now. We all start from scratch again, so fingers crossed, a bit more luck, and you never know.
How much would you like that British title and a place with the British Grand Prix?
Love it. You know, we've my best finish in my career has been third, so if we could match that or better it, that'd be awesome. And then Cardiff, that's another big one.
Best of luck tonight, thank you.
Thank you very much. Cheers.
Yeah, Simon Stead, a good British final for him, and looks as though he's enjoying himself. Nicely relaxed, and we're up to heat number 20, which is the final qualifying race here at Monmouth Green tonight, before the one-off semi-final and then the grand final itself. Tai Woffinden on 10 points. Now, if he wins this race, he will go level with Edward Kennett and Scott Nicholls on 13 points. So he goes off the inside. Gate number 2 is Ricky Ashworth, who's ridden well tonight from the Berwick Bandits. Craig Cook goes off gate number 3 in white from the Edinburgh Monarchs, and Richard Lawson from the Workington Comets off the outside in the yellow helmet colour. The graphics that you see there are with their Elite League team names. And Tai Woffinden will feel a bit of pressure. He will be looking to make it 13 points here tonight.
Yeah, but he should win the race.
That will put him on 3 race wins, the same as Kennett. And then it will go down to who beats who in the races in the 20 heats. So it's all about the count back here. And heat number 20, Woffinden will feel confident of getting through to the grand final.
Yeah, well, Kennett beat Woffinden in heat 10, so that would suggest that Kennett would still stay in the top 2. So here we go.
Heat number 20 it is then, and it's a great start from the man in white, Craig Cook. And that would mean disappointment for Tai Woffinden. He'd have to prepare for a place in the race-off. Woffinden is second, third in yellow is Richard Lawson. Trailing at the back now is Ricky Ashworth. But what about Craig Cook? He's had a storming night tonight. His Edinburgh promoter, Alex Arcus, has made the journey down from Scotland here to watch him here. And he has the lead here, Craig Cook.
And he's storming away out in front, Nigel, going very wide down in turn 4. Now Tai Woffinden has had to move off the inside line. Struggling to find an impact, didn't get away from the tapes very well, and Craig Cook, he is a surprise. Coming into this race, you'd have to have fancied Tai Woffinden, but the man from Bellevue, he's riding a stormer with 1 lap to go.
We have seen him have some good meetings on Sky Sports before, Craig Cook, for the Bellevue Aces, and this is what he's all about. Woffinden is going to try the inside line for one last gasp bid, but Craig Cook has ridden a stormer there in heat 20.
That's a fabulous ride from Craig Cook. He'll be really pleased with that.
Kennett and Nicholls in the final.
Yeah, absolutely. Woffinden and Harris, that's going to be a clash in the semi-final with Simon Stead. But I've got to say that that's a smashing ride there from Craig Cook. Look how much that means to him, and that's fully deserved, because he's a youngster and he's been battling hard all night. He's shown good speed.
Scored double figures now.
Yeah, and that's a bit of a scalp for him, you know, to beat Woffinden around his home patch.
Without a doubt, well done, Craig Cook. Splendid effort from the Cumbrian youngster, former motocross rider. Craig Cook the winner, with Tai Woffinden second, Ricky Ashworth was third, and Richard Lawson trailed in last. The 20 qualifying heats have now been completed, and it's clear-cut. Scott Nicholls and Edward Kennett go straight through to the grand final of the British final, and the race-off will be Chris Harris, Tai Woffinden, Ben Barker and Simon Stead. It's a mouth-watering lineup, and we will just confirm the gate positions and colours for the semi-final, the British title and a place at Cardiff at the Millennium Stadium as wildcard for the Grand Prix is on the line, and it's coming up after the break. Welcome back to Wolverhampton, Monmouth Green Stadium, and the business end of the 2012 British Speedway final is upon us. 20 qualifying heats have now been completed, and these are the standings. Scott Nicholls and Edward Kennett of Coventry, they both head straight through to the final. The race-off, the semi-final, will see Ben Barker in red, Simon Stead in blue, Chris Harris in white, and Tai Woffinden in yellow. So the top 2 from the semi-final will go through to the final. I can tell you as well that Craig Cook, who's missed out here on the semi-final, has won himself a place in the Great Britain squad for the meeting against Australia at Poole on Wednesday. Chris Louis is with Scott Nicholls now.
Thanks, Nigel. Yeah, I tell you what, he's been doing a lot of thinking and a lot of focusing down there in your chair, Scott, but you're straight in the final. Chris Harris said that you've got something that he wants, but he's got to negotiate this tough-looking semi-final first.
Yes, I want to keep hold of it as well. Yeah, it's going to be tough. I mean, I'm glad I'm not in the semi, really, but you know, it's nice to go straight through to the final. But it all comes down to that one race and gate positions. You know, we can see it's going to be a tough final, and you know, which is nice for TV and for everybody watching. But you know, for us riders out there, that makes it that much more difficult.
The gate positions, they started off, gate 3 looked good, but it's going to be a hard pick because in the last couple of blocks of races, each gate's been winning races.
It has, you know, that's where it's nice to go in straight to the final, but sometimes you're better just to pick up the pieces at the end. But you know, I'm pleased to be there. That's what I wanted to do. I wanted to go straight to the final in the first instance. So I'll have a little mull over things and have a little watch and hopefully pick out the winner.
Good luck for the final. Thanks, Scott.
Thank you.
So the semi-final is upon us then here. Only the first two here go through to the final. We already know the first two qualifiers. We've just heard from one of them, Scott Nicholls. Here's the race off for the a place in the final here at Wolverhampton. Ben Barker goes off the inside in red. Simon Stead is off gate 2 in blue. Chris Harris goes off gate 3 in white. And Tai Woffinden goes off the outside in yellow. This effectively a one-off semi-final. The first two will face Nicholls and Kennett in the final.
Yep, it's do or die now. If you want to be British champion, you've got to be in the top two here. Woffinden, got to say, he hasn't been that sharp away from the tapes tonight. Going to have to do something spectacular from the outside. Gate 3 still doing the business. It has evened up a little bit in the latter part of the meeting, but you've got to say that Harris is in the box seat. Big race here. This is a really important one. Woffinden pre-meeting favourite.
So, a one-off semi-final to decide who goes through to the final. And Woffinden's made a good one off the outside. Harris isn't in the first two at the moment. Woffinden goes high and wide. Ben Barker is there in red. At the moment, it's Woffinden and Barker heading through to the final.
Here comes Harris.
Oh, Barker's lost control. He'll be heartbroken with that. Woffinden has the lead. Here comes Chris Harris high and wide around the outside.
He is indeed, he's charging hard. Woffinden's out in front. Harris has got more speed. Barker made a big mistake down the bottom. Oh, Woofy nearly runs in the bottom of the fence coming out of turn 4. Second time around, right up against the fence again there down the back straight. Harris charging hard, they're clear. Stead's back in third place, but looks like Woffinden and Harris.
Well, Woffinden has really been sailing close to the wind here. He's been so close to the safety fence. I thought he was going to clip the back straight a couple of times, but Woffinden is going to win the race off and go through to the final of the British final alongside Chris Harris, who didn't make the start.
No.
Simon Stead's third, and Ben Barker is heartbroken at the back. He lost control of the bike.
Wow.
Good that he stayed on it.
He did, yeah. He was so close to burying himself in the air fence. I could see there was going to be a rerun, but got to say, Tai Woffinden, he rode a race there that was right on the ragged edge. He was skimming the safety fence all the way down the straight. He's having a look at the start. Interesting to see this. He's having a good look at the start place there on the outside, just in case he gets that for the final. What a final lineup, Nige. It's the main contenders. The main contenders are in. Got to say, the cream. We've got to say that Tai Woffinden was right on it out in front there.
Tai Woffinden the winner with Chris Harris second. Simon Stead was third. Ben Barker, commiserations to him. There'd have been no guarantee that it'd have got there, of course, but lost control of the bike there. And it's Woffinden and Harris who joined Kennett and Nicholls, and that was a very interesting semi-final race.
Woffinden comes from the outside. Harris had lifted violently away from gate 3. Barker's there, right on the inside, looking good. And look what happens now. He just charges into turn 3 and very nearly throws it away. Runs very wide indeed, and that allows Harris to respond. Harrison has plenty of speed and keeps Woffinden very honest out in front. Super Speedway, and Woffinden and Harris through to the final.
Let's get some reaction. Chris Harris is down in the pits with Charlie.
Thanks, Nigel. Chris, you didn't really do it the easy way, did you, out there? We were all slightly worried. Talk us through your start. You didn't seem to get off to the best one.
No, I've lifted big time on the start there, so caught me out really, but I managed to get past Ben after he made a mistake up there, so felt plenty of speed out there though, but it's got to get that gate because it's only that one line really.
Yeah, we were saying that you do seem to have the speed. How can you make sure you can use that though in the final?
Just make the start and go out in front.
It's all about the starts for you, is it?
Definitely.
How much does it mean to you?
Oh, I mean a lot, you know, I've been British champion before, but you know, I want another title to my name.
How's your confidence? Because it's not been the best route for you.
Yeah, it's good. It's more racing is the better I get.
Strategies, just the starts?
Just to start and get out in front.
All right, I'll let you get on. Good luck.
Cheers.
Chris, over to you.
Thanks, Charlie. Tai, nice to go into the final with a race win and a cracking ride. Good start.
Yeah, definitely. I was pretty happy with that. We've been changing the setup massive all night and still don't really feel fast enough. Yeah, we'll work on it for the next one and just got to bop out that start.
It's going to be difficult out there for gate positions. Gate 3 was good all night, but towards the end, other gates were coming into it. You didn't, last year you went into this race, into the final with a 15-point maximum. You've had to work a little bit harder tonight. You haven't got a maximum out there, but maybe it's going to be reverse of fortunes.
Yeah, maybe. I've had a few bad weeks in England, to be honest. I've scored a lot of 7 points and an 8 at pool. Not very pleased with my performance in the last few weeks. It's been going good in Poland, and it's so hard to, I'm getting comfy with the big tracks and getting nice big runs and staying smooth, and then here you've got to do the complete opposite. So it's hard to make the jump, and I've got GMs in Poland and Jawas here, and they're just completely different, but I'm here to race, so I'm doing my best.
Well, I can tell you that gates 3 and 4 have gone, so you've got the inside left. What do you want to take?
Don't know. I'll go have a think.
Go think about it. Thanks, Tai.
Hasn't got too long to think about it, young Woffinden there, but yeah, it's a tremendous lineup for the final. Still got to fancy Scott Nicholls, the way he's gone about his business here, Kelvin.
Yeah, he's favourite for me for the final, without doubt. I think Tai Woffenden's hit the nail on the head. He hasn't had the speed tonight. He's had to work very hard indeed, and I think Harris is in a similar boat. Haven't quite had the key to it, but there's one line out there now, and that's why they want to make the start.
So the British title and the wild card for Cardiff will be decided in the space of 4 laps and 60 seconds of racing here at Monmouth. The grand final of the British Championship is coming up in a few moments' time. Make sure you join us for that. Welcome back to the British final here at Monmouth Stadium. The British title on the line in one race, which is coming right up. Decent speedway meeting here tonight. We've had 21 races in front of a big crowd, a great atmosphere. And coming up, the grand final of the British Speedway final here. It will decide the national champion and also the wild card for the British Grand Prix at Cardiff. Chris Harris is already at Cardiff, we know, as a regular Grand Prix rider. So whoever finishes highest in this final, apart from Chris Harris, will be the wild card. However, they'll be going for the title first and foremost, Kelvin.
Indeed they will. It's a terrific lineup. It's the same lineup as we had 12 months ago, of course. And you've got to say that Nicholls and Harris had a fabulous battler. And Tai Woffinden went into that meeting, that final, that night, a red-hot favourite. But for me, Nicholls, coming out of gate 3, he's the man to beat here. But there's one line now, it's gone very slick on the inside. There's a dirt line about 2/3 of the way out there, and if you get on that and you can get away, you're going to be hard to beat.
This is going to be great to watch, you can be sure of that. All 4 of these boys will be going for it. The first turn is going to be absolutely vital, just as vital as the start here. And it really is, the stakes are so high. National title, can Scott Nicholls make it 7 British titles and break the record? Harris goes off the inside in red, the Grand Prix regular. Tai Woffinden, the Wolverhampton rider on the Wolverhampton track, gate 2 in blue. Gate 3 in white, 6 times British champion Scott Nicholls. And Edward Kennett of the Coventry Bees goes off the outside in the yellow helmet. You can feel the tension, Kelvin.
Yeah, terrific lineup. Wouldn't be surprised to see some fireworks in the first corner. Harris, of course, he looked a little bit quicker last time. Tai Woffinden not totally confident in his equipment, knows that he needs to find a little bit more. Scott Nicholls has had to wait patiently. He's had to watch the semi-final. In that interview with Chris Louis, I just sense he was a little bit nervous, but he has been in terrific form. And Kennett, who hasn't been in good form for the Coventry Bees, looks good tonight.
Well, 3 Coventry riders in the final. So there's a great chance for the Coventry Bees to celebrate a British champion here tonight.
Indeed,
or will it be the Wolverhampton man, Tai Woffinden? A lot about this race will be strategy, looking for where your opponent is going in the first turn and try to switch either up the inside or go wide. It's going to be interesting. It's the final of the British Championship here at Monmouth. Tai Woffenden's made the start. Now, can Woffinden hold the line? He's going around the inside. High and wide around the outside is Kennett. Now charging hard as well. Here comes Scott Nicholls. Tai Woffinden is going to have...
Oh! Kennett out of shape. Bike over the air fence. He's laying against it. The red light's on.
We're going to have to do this all over again.
Tai Woffinden will be frustrated. Obviously, we're concerned about Eddie Kennett. He's on his feet. And the bike literally high jumped over the air fence. Remarkably, it hasn't done any injury. It's good to see Kennett up on his feet. He's got a smile on his face. Was quite a spectacular incident. Woffinden had made an absolute blinder of a start. He'll be gutted. Absolutely gutted, because he's going to have to do it again.
Here's Chris Louis.
Watch this, watch this. Comes charging in on the outside there. The bike pulls a big locker, twitches underneath him.
Here's Chris Louis now.
Thanks, Nigel. Eddie, we saw it last year. It's a repeat performance. Unlucky.
Yeah, I mean, didn't make a bad start again, and 2 years in a row now. It's I felt so much better myself tonight, and I was making good starts, and boys worked hard in the pits, and I feel so much better, but just absolutely gutted, but there's always next year. Like I said to Charlie last year, there's always next year, so I'll come fighting again next year, and they can't knock me for not trying.
Yeah, I mean, it must be so frustrating. Your Coventry form hasn't been the best this year, but you did look composed tonight. You're riding well, and you had made a good start, but it got so tight going down there into turn 3.
Yeah, that's it. I nearly had the edge on Woofy around the first bend, and he ran in quite deep, and I was committed to go there, and ran out of room and locked it up, and then went for a little ride. But I got up and actually looked where I still was having second thoughts. I know where my bike is, and I looked over the fence, and it was over there. But hey, that's racing. I've had a good night, and just want to say thank you to everyone that's helped me.
Great stuff. Well done, Eddie. Thanks.
Yeah, thank you.
Well, nice to see Edward Kennett smiling. And
He was lucky here.
Yeah,
he was lucky here because the bike could have come back on him. He's out of control. Obviously, comes off there, but the bike flips up onto the top of the fence, and it actually bounces over the other side. It could have actually bounced back onto him. Just pulls a massive locker, and it got all out of shape, and the bike's still flat out underneath him, and it high jumps over. Unfortunately, it's good to see that he's up on his feet, but what a dramatic start that was. Woffinden had made the jet-propelled gate out of gate 2. Harris has come colliding in there. There could have been some damage. There's bits and pieces flying off motorbikes there.
When I was a kid, you could stand right by a safety fence at places like Hull and Halifax and Exeter. Can't do that now. There has to be a gap between the spectators and the safety fence, and that's one of the reasons why.
Exactly, flying motorbikes. They're dangerous things, and fortunately there are no spectators there. Whoa, here we go. Scott Nicholls there was going to have to do it the hard way first time out, Nige, because he didn't make the start from gate 3.
Woffinden made a beauty, didn't he?
He did. It was jet propelled. It was a classy start. The trouble is, when you make one like that, can you do it again? So often we see it, the man who's out in front, second time around, he misses out.
Well, a reminder, Harris and Nicholls have dominated this competition from 2004 when Joe Screen won it. 7 years after that, it's been shared between Scott Nicholls and Chris Harris. Nicholls, the man in white, 6 British titles to his name. If he wins this, he will set the outright record of 7 British championships.
That's fabulous. That will be some achievement. He has been a terrific ambassador for British Speedway, often, 6 times the champion. Has done brilliantly well, but here we go again. The tension on. Woffinden, got to say, he's made a smashing start first around, but Nicholls is going to be a hard man to beat.
So, here we go with the final of the British final, and away from the start, Nicholls has made a beauty in white. He's cut across, and that is a super start from Scott Nicholls, and he looks quick tonight as well. He's going to take some stopping now. Harris is second, Woffinden is third. Nicholls is going to have eyes in the back of his head right now, and Woffinden is going to watch the 2 Coventry boys.
Harris on the inside! Dives to the inside, fast himself to the front. Nicholls comes back at him, squeezing into turns 3 and 4. They go across the track. Harris then chases up the inside again. Close down the start and finish straight. Harris now fast to the front. Nicholls round the outside. Oh, it's tight down the back straight.
Yes, there is! Goodness me, what a race this is for the British title. And if this remains now, Scott Nicholls will be British champion for a record-breaking 7th time. He'll be going to Cardiff as the wild card as well. Second place is Chris Harris. Woffenden's going to have to settle for 3rd. But Scott Nicholls has set the record. 7 British titles. He's off to Cardiff again as the wild card as well. It's Super Scotty Nicholls.
Fabulous ride from Scott Nicholls. He's been in terrific form all night long. Bounced back after a disappointing ride in Heat 1. He's delighted. 7 British titles to his name now. That is a excellent achievement, something very special indeed. He goes through, of course, the added bonus of going through to Cardiff on the 23rd of August. What a night of Speedway, and the best man won on the night. You can't take it away from him.
Without a doubt. Didn't start the best, got a point, but then has reeled off 4 straight wins in the qualifiers and now wins the final as well. And what a race with Chris Harris.
Wow.
And look what it means to Scott Nicholls. A fantastic ride from Scott in the final. And he is British champion for a record-breaking 7th time. Scott Nicholls the winner, Chris Harris was second, Tai Woffinden was third, and Edward Kennett disqualified, of course. So Charlie is with Chris Harris now.
Yeah, I'm with a very, very disappointed Chris Harris down here. Chris, what do you think went wrong for you?
Well, the ref didn't give us any time to get anything done. I had a dirt defender broke because we could hit Eddie. Clutch started to burn out on the last lap, so but congratulations to Scott anyway.
You had a fantastic battle out there. You really gave it everything you got.
Yeah, I get everything, but the last lap the clutch just felt like it was slipping and Scott got away and won the final again.
How hard is it to take?
Oh, very hard. I wanted to win it, as you can see, but again, machinery's let me down.
How are you going to look forward to Cardiff just before you go, Chris?
I have to look forward to the next meeting. This one's done and dusted now for another year, and I regroup again tomorrow and start again.
Congratulations, and thank you for talking to us.
Scott, if you're going to win a record-breaking 7 British titles, you might as well do it in some style, and that was some style.
Oh, it's a fantastic race, and obviously I'm delighted, and you know, Chris obviously was disappointed, but I mean that was a fantastic race, you know, brilliant, good, hard and fair, and yeah, number 7 record books, and I'm a happy man.
And a visit to Cardiff too, that's going to be, you've got to be looking forward to that.
I am, I always look forward to Cardiff, you know, it's an amazing event, and you know, tonight the focus was on winning, and I did that, so if we could do that in Cardiff it'd be amazing, but right now I'll enjoy the moment.
That last pass that actually took the victory down the back straight round the outside, there wasn't a lot of room. What was your thoughts going down that straight?
Well, I wasn't thinking of Bjarne Pedersen, that's for sure, but no, it was tight, but I trust Chris, you know, I'd have left him room likewise, and you know, it was tough, but the title's at stake, you kind of can't wimp out of situations like that.
Congratulations, 7 British Championships, absolutely fully deserved, well done.
Thank you very much.
Look what it means to Scott Nicholls, many congratulations, and what a race it was, Kelvin.
Special race, a grandstand finale. Second time out, Tai Woffinden missed the start. Nicholls made a super start coming across from gate 3. But you've got to say that Harris rides a stormer there. He comes charging into the picture. This swap back to the inside, really terrific. And then Nicholls pulls the locker and does something very similar going down the back straight. It was action-packed. They had a real tussle earlier on when Nicholls prevailed. But when it really mattered, in the grand final, he comes up with the goods. 7 British titles to his name now. That really is something spectacular. Can he perform like that in Cardiff in a few weeks' time? But tonight, Scott Nicholls is the man.
And great respect as well between all 3 riders there. They left the gap. They didn't do anything dirty. They rode fair and square, and it was terrific speedway
Superstar
from those 3 boys. Tai Woffinden will be gutted as well because he made the start in the original staging of the race.
Look at his face.
He's devastated about it.
He is so close, but yet so far. 2 years on the spin, riding there. Well, got to say that he'll probably pick up a British Championship in the not too distant future. As with this man, he's obviously again very disappointed.
Just would like to apologise if you were offended by anything you saw from Tai Woffinden there. Chris Harris, runner-up. Alex Sarkis, the chairman of the BSPA, making the presentations, the British Speedway Promoters Association. And Scott Nicholls is British champion once again. And I'm sure there'll be plenty of Coventry fans making the journey to Cardiff on August the 25th for the British Grand Prix at the magnificent Millennium Stadium. And Scott is there as wild card, with Chris Harris already in it. A couple of Coventry riders there at the British Grand Prix. But what a terrific night of speedway, and well deserved. You called it, Kelvin, from the moment he won his first race. Scott Nicholls looked absolutely the man to go on and win the title.
Yeah, he had a disappointing opening ride. He just got the 1 point, but subsequently he won 5 rides on the spin and really was the man to beat, and fully deserves to win on the night. He is the man, you know, 7 British titles, that's quite incredible.
You can tell Chris Harris disappointed, Tai Woffinden disappointed as well. They're desperate to win the national title, no doubt about that. But Scott Nicholls is the man who's done it for a record-breaking 7th time. He was level with Barry Briggs on 6 British titles, but he's now won 7. He could yet win more in the years going forward as well.
Yes, absolutely. You know, he has a fantastic record so far. He'll be keeping his fingers crossed now that he can replicate this sort of performance at Cardiff.
Well, let's remind you of what's coming up. The British Grand Prix at Cardiff. Our coverage starts at 5:30 on Saturday, August the 25th. That's on Sky Sports 3 HD, live from the Millennium Stadium in Cardiff. What a night to look forward to. We're back in the Elite League next Monday. And what a meeting this is. Swindon Robins, 2nd in the league. Poole Pirates, top of the table. The Abbey Stadium, Swindon, 7:30. Sky Sports 3 HD next Monday. Yeah, it's that time. It's the Speedway season where it's reaching boiling point. And we're looking forward to the Elite League again next Monday. The British Grand Prix at Cardiff. But tonight, of course, we say congratulations to Scotty Nicholls on setting a record as well.
Yeah, fabulous performance from Scott Nicholls. You cannot take anything away from him. He was the man tonight and fully deserved to come out the winner.
So Scott Nicholls stands on top of the podium here at the Monmaggreen Stadium in Wolverhampton. It's been a real battle for the British title, but it's super Scotty Nicholls who goes to Cardiff as British champion.
Watch all 6 Sky Sports channels on your mobile and online.